Futures back in positive territory this morning, reversing early decline that we saw when I first sat down this morning. But nice rally back here in the last few minutes to get back to green. 0.3 for the S&P right now. The Dow looking to avoid its third straight losing session today. Overall, market's pretty mixed, coming off another negative showing yesterday. We saw 9 of 11 S&P 500 sectors in negative territory at the end of the day yesterday. The Dow, the S&P, and NASDAQ all to the downside to kick off the week. Investors sitting on the sidelines, it would appear, for the most part, awaiting Q3 earnings season. That's coming Wednesday. We'll get JP Morgan pre-market, followed by Wells Fargo on Thursday pre-market. A whole bunch of other names coming along as well. Again, Wednesday and Thursday will kick things off. Most analysts quick to mention the fact that 2021 has been a positive year for the overall market, and you know, equities could be a little bit muted now going into the end of the year. Individually this morning, Nike shares higher on a Goldman Sachs upgrade this morning, and Tesla also rallying on better than expected China-made vehicle sales numbers out today. We'll talk about that. It's Tuesday, October 12th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at how things stand at this point. The NASDAQ leading the way so far in the pre-market here, 0.5% to the upside. The S&P 0.3, as I mentioned, back in positive territory. Everything else on that board, though, to the downside today. Not big moves, but you can see Ethereum 2 days in a row there, about 2% for Ethereum now to the downside. We had a big move for Bitcoin yesterday, higher, leveling off a little bit this morning, guys. Good morning. Going to be an interesting one this morning here. We're back to green, as we said, after a little bit of a negative start. Yeah, Bitcoin kind of consolidating, I guess, gains that we saw over the past couple of days. But overall, pretty good start.
Yeah, absolutely. That or it's floating in air like that. I love that graphic. It's a nice little new one, so thank you, Rob, for that. Welcome. I think we've finished our turkey hangovers here in Canada, but Facebook has gone rogue a little bit here. As you mentioned, the turnaround in the markets. Yes, we turned a small loss into the gains that you're seeing here. NASDAQ up 0.5%, Facebook down 1%. That whistleblower is going to be talking, well, possibly it was invited to speak to the EU. So there's some pressure there in Facebook, getting close to that 200-period moving average. Lots of other names on the move here, some vaccine names that we'll get into. One that just popped up on the board. Looks like that Lucid news that everyone was expecting was just some insider, or buying some shares back from insiders. That's actually not moving at all. PROG is moving. We got SoFi we'll be looking at today. Lots going on. And yes, I slipped a word in there, rogue, Sean, because we also have a special guest coming up later today.
Yeah, we're excited to have the rogue trader himself, Nick Leeson. So he'll be coming through at 10:45. That should be a good one. But, you know, everyone's here for the show. So we'll wait for 10:45. That should be fun. We'll talk to him a little bit about market manipulation. And we have a few topics that we're going to go by there. We have to keep them nice and simple. He wants them nice and simple. So let's not get too carried away here. But it should be fun there. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. What's going on with ADA right now? Some people asking about Cardano. It's just at 210. It's not doing anything. So, I mean, some of these other coins, it looks like Bitcoin has been leading the way here to go for a little bit. So we'll see. Hopefully Bitcoin will slow down and some of the other crypto names will start to bump a little bit. But nice to see Goldman today finally with an upgrade on Nike, which is always great when you're in, you know, a week or two before the upgrade. So that was nice. So it's nice to see Nike going a little bit here. And then we'll just look to see some other names. You know, Facebook to the downside. We did get out of some of that. We moved some money into PayPal. We moved some money into Nucor. We moved some money into Nike. But right now we're just looking to see where else we can get some value. We're looking at SoFi, yesterday's trade of the day. I love it again today, and it should be a good one, Brendo.
Yeah, what a move for SoFi. Pretty active again this morning. So we'll have a look at that as well coming up in a moment, guys. But let's talk about a few headlines here making moves and making news so far this morning. This NTRB, the first one that just popped up as we came on there, Nutraband signing an exclusive manufacturing agreement for DioCheck, which is a, I guess, visual COVID-19 antibody indicator patch. So I guess you apply the patch. If you have the antibodies, it may turn a different color or something along those lines from what I'm reading here, guys.
Okay, I mean, it sounds good. When I first saw the stock up and you brought the name to us, I looked at the price and was like, oh, it's got to be a SPAC because it hasn't been trading for very long. Now, obviously, there's not going to be much price history to work off of here. I mean, I can show you what the daily chart is going to look like. You're looking at fresh highs. I tend to think that usually these things start moving a little bit too far on news like this, but it actually hasn't gotten terribly overextended yet. I know that's relative to some other names that we've seen go. There are no shortable shares for us here just yet. I'll keep checking on some locates here, but NTRB needs to be on your watch. Ocugen, which also is, sort of in the same space. Of course, they're with the vaccine. That's starting to come back into the downside. It kind of feels like, some of the money, I guess the momentum money that's going into NTRB could be flowing away from some of the other names that might have had a chance to run today. So I'm kind of looking at Ocugen as a bit of a fade now that this one's popped up on the board. If it were to pull back, you can look at some of this price acceptance here, like $8 to $8.75, $9, like in this range. It's a wide range that you got for a pullback on NTRB. And as always, with some of these smaller float names, be careful about any trade halts. You got to believe the diagnostic testing is going to be a big deal, even with, we talked about that Merck pill being such a big deal. Well, you still have to catch it in the first few days, and then you have to take, what is it, it's like 4 pills like twice a day or something like that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you got to take like 4 pills twice a day
pills.
for 5 days. And you have to catch it within 5 days, which means testing's a big deal still.
It's just like, I don't understand. I mean, people can think whatever they want about vaccines and the COVID and all these pills, but it's like, are the pills safe to take? Are the vaccines safe to take? Is COVID okay to get? Like, there's so much around this. But you know what the thing is I want to say what's up to Jacqueline, what's up to a few of the other Forerunner, Big Moo, what's up to Leo. Thank you for everybody for your Thanksgiving wishes as well. We're here today. We were here yesterday. So like Neil said, the Thanksgiving hangover didn't really exist for us too much yesterday, as I thought we had a great show. And then today we're just going to rock it one more time. I always look at Moderna, talking about the vaccine names. I didn't like this name at 320, which is when we sort of started talking about it short on the sticky note when it started to break through some of these levels right here. Now you're back to the downside. I still think Moderna somehow rests its final trade here around 210. 230, something like that. So again, we'll see what happens with all these booster shots and things like that. But Moderna's been, not the greatest chart here over the last little while. So this is a 20-minute chart. We were just up. I mean, it zoomed way out. So I mean, back in late September, we were up here at 400, and it's just been a sort of a simple decline downside here. So I'm always looking at this 290, 300 area for Moderna support. So that's my little take on some vaccines. And, we'll just see where we go from here. I'm interested in the travel sector off of a nice, move yesterday for LUV to the downside, of course. It's already taken off. So we'll look to see if we can pick up some of those names.
Yeah, a little bit of news on Moderna today. We'll touch on that. But I want to touch on Square here, guys. 1.75% here in the pre-market. It's been under a little bit of pressure over the past couple of weeks, along with obviously the rest of the tech sector and growth names in general. I did note the 10-year coming off a little bit this morning. We got up to about 1.64, 1.65. We're back to 1.6 today. There was an upgrade on, there was an upgrade on Square today. I think it was Wells Fargo with an upgrade, but this was the main story here. Cathie Wood selling 85,000 shares of Square over the past couple of days here. So, it's been under pressure, but we're still holding decent levels here for Square.
I mean, it says she sold 85,000, right? But I mean, how many does she have? I'm sure it would say that. I'm sure it says that in there somewhere. So if you could find that, Brendan, that'd be great. Like, was it 5% of her holdings? Was it 10% of her holdings in Square? And not only that, I don't really care, to be honest with you, about what she's doing. It's interesting to follow Cathie Wood, and it's great that they post them all up for ARK, and that's fantastic. But I mean, we've already talked about how ARK has performed over the year, and I think it's down. It could be down on year to date at this point. We were looking at this not too long ago, talking about it from January. So here's January right here. So it's very, very close. So let's just say in January 1st or so, we were at 218, 219, somewhere in there. It made it. This is Square. Hold on a second. It's going to be the same price. It's going to be 108 or something like that. Where was it? Let's go load up. Yeah. So here's the dip. Come on, so it's right in here, January, right in there. Yeah, so it's this dip right there. So yeah, so 125 or so. Yeah, so this makes more sense. So 125, and we were talking about it just as I said, just last week when Square was breaking near flat for the year. So I mean, you have a nice move up in the beginning of the year. A lot of us made a lot of money, obviously, from January to March this year. Then the drop started happening in some of these high growth names, and now you're right back to the bottom of ARK. So ARK down here about 100, I think is going to be a buy if you like some of these names, but that's just me talking about ARK. I mean, Square, I think, needs to be bought. I think it's a fintech play. You see the momentum here on the daily chart seems to be pretty good. Like you mentioned, Brendan, we are sort of holding 225, 210, 200. If Square ever gets down to this area, like I recently bought PayPal, the reason why I bought PayPal versus Square, I was actually had more shares of Square than I did of PayPal because we were lucky enough to pick some Square up down here. I mean, it's just lucky that we actually have a 35 print in our account for Square, and that was one that I went shopping in the teeth of COVID with that. So I actually have more exposure to Square than I do PayPal. But I love Square down here around 200. I think if the market falls, this is a name that has to be on everyone's shopping list.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Some context. I mean, I'm sure Brendan will get the exact numbers, but Kathy Wood bought twice this, or just under twice this amount in late September. So, I mean, just sort of looking back here, I mean, I could probably find almost an exact price. It's probably close to like 160 or so would have been the latest purchase. So even if, you're selling in the 240 range, I mean, that's a 50% return. And even then, it was about selling just under half the share. So everything within context, profit taking. If you're an active manager like that, then sometimes you're going to be selling things when they've gained you a profit. You want to put that money elsewhere. That's just part of the game. I don't necessarily think it means anything negative there. And maybe it's given you this chance, to get this little bit of a pullback. You got the upgrade, so maybe we're not going to retest the 220 level. I put on the 200 period just so you can kind of see, and I've been using this a little bit more just recently because in market downturn I wanted to see stocks that are breaking that period or bouncing off of it. And now that it's below, I kind of like to see it test a level lower, if at all possible, before adding into it. But I'm sort of with Sean. I mean, you got to believe in fintech. If you believe in the consumer, and you believe in the disruptive power of Square, then some tech companies are the ones that you can't be as worried about in a raising rate environment. And, like the only thing that would probably kill the stock is stagflation, which I don't think is happening.
So no actual position size here, guys, but I've highlighted this part, which says, so the actual monetary value is about 20.4 million. But this sentence here, even though this is a small fraction of the total holdings, every little bit counts. So again, no actual position size, but worth a note for Square. VP of OTC Markets, Jeff Mendel, is joining us this morning once again to discuss some opportunities on the OTC markets. Great to see you, Jeff. Hope you're having a good start to October.
Brendan, thank you, and I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving up there yesterday, and a nice long weekend as well too. Weather was great down here. Hope it was up there as well too. So let's jump right into it. GBTC trading down a little bit today in the pre-market. OTCX is offered at 43.89. Closed yesterday up at 44.31. So decent amount of activity going on in the pre-market right now. Like usual, right? The grayscale products, they like to follow the crypto market early on in the day. Also, want to bring up ETHE as well too, the Ethereum Trust, and the same deal, trading down today in the pre-market. Let's see what happens. I looked in the actual crypto markets. I think there should be a little bit of movement today in these names, so definitely want to keep an eye on GBTC and ETHE. Then let's move over to Tencent. Saw a few trades go off in the pre-market. On this name, it's trading relatively flat compared to yesterday's close, but seeing a little activity, so definitely something to look at going into 9:30.
Yeah, a few moving around here. We had a big move, obviously, for Bitcoin the past couple of days. So good to always touch on the grayscale products. I want to highlight the OTC Markets website here, Jeff, because the last time you were on, we spoke about regulation change that came into effect, actually, the day that you were on the last time, that prevents quotes or displayed quotes for certain individual stocks. So this is the OTC Markets website. You go to most active, and on this list, I noticed these symbols here with this kind of cautionary triangle symbol versus the typical pink symbol that's on the list here. So there are a number on this list. And if you actually click on this symbol, it'll give you a warning here talking about limited information. So I thought that was a great feature, and well done for OTC Markets to get on that right away, Jeff, to talk about, those symbols that if you are interested in looking at those specific symbols, you're not going to see individual quotes.
Yeah, Brendan, it's part of the new regulation that we have going on as well too. And so the ones that if you see something pop up with expert market as well too, you're not going to see a publicly available quote. They can still trade. So if you're in a position, right, these companies can still trade, except you're not going to be able to access the bid or the offer or see the bid or the offer in any of your trading systems.
Yeah, so a good resource, obviously, for anyone interested in having a look at OTC listed markets. Were there any other symbols, Jeff, that you noted even over the past couple of days that have been more active than usual?
So, like I said, I think the grayscale ones are the most notable names, but there is something that I do want to bring up with Neil and myself. I think it's a little bit too early, but Bills Cowboys Super Bowl. Last time they met, if anyone remembers, back in 1994, and I think the final score is 52-17 Cowboys. So how about 2022 Super Bowl rematch?
I mean, of course, you would bring up those old teams. And look, the Cowboys were great teams back then. The issue with us doing like some kind of a Super Bowl bet is the Cowboys just simply have no chance of making it there, right? When the Bills just knocked off, Kansas City, right? I mean, the Bills, they're a legit Super Bowl contender. I don't know about your squad there, Jeff, but if you want to make some kind of a bet, that just even they make it to the Cowboys making it to the Super Bowl or making it to the championship game, the NFC championship game, we can let the guys in the chat maybe decide on some stakes here. We did the jerseys last time, but I'm more than game because the Bills, I mean, come on, like they're unbelievable right now.
I think we're onto something here.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. I want these guys to decide though, because last time, I'm willing to do face paint. I have no problem with that. I don't have any hair to be dyed. We can do things along those lines. It's boring doing the shirt. So if you want to do something, I think the Super Bowl is kind of lame because that's almost asking too much. I think we should do something along the lines of, getting to, winning a playoff game or who goes further in the playoffs. That makes a little bit more sense to me. I mean, the Cowboys got to make the playoffs in the first place, whereas the Bills are basically a shoo-in. But if you're game for who goes further in the playoffs, personally, I'm willing to paint my face. We can create a poll and we'll let you know later.
Definitely. I'm in.
Sounds good, brother.
Thank you.
Jeff Mendel, always a pleasure. Sir, have a great day. We'll speak again soon.
Thanks, Brendan.
There we go, guys. Let's discuss DoorDash here. There was a note on DoorDash, 2.5% in the pre-market after this headline popped up this morning, advertising platform for some of the restaurants that are available on DoorDash. So you're going to get some actual individual ads posted on the side of the DoorDash app now for these individual restaurants. So I mean, another revenue stream, I guess, at least at bare minimum for Dash.
Yeah.
DoorDash is moving around.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, DoorDash. I didn't realize that actually DoorDash had taken this 200 level yesterday, so it's kind of worth looking at when you look at this little bit of a rebound here. I mean, this is sort of obvious. Look at the 195, right? Daily chart. This is your 195 here, breakout, and then a hold support. A little bit of a wipeout flush bottom, which, I mean, I wasn't looking at DoorDash yesterday. Obviously, we would have maybe noticed it taking, look at it take 200 in the afternoon and then tank $5 clean, right? So that's the first thing that sticks out. Positive news catalyst and an iceberg at 200 here. Man, if this 200 wants to hold off the open, I mean, you probably have a chance to get going to the upside, especially with the market recovering. I'm assuming this is an iceberg. I probably shouldn't have said iceberg on the bid, but when I immediately looked at the level 2 here, like this is what I saw, and then I see prints coming off at 200 and the levels clearly going. I mean, look at the spread though, $1.50 spread and no volume. You can't jump into this trade in front of it, although you do have a bit of a buyer. Just sort of seeing that wipeout and recovery. Yeah, I kind of like the notion of maybe DoorDash could be in play for us in front of that too, but just be very careful. I mean, you just saw that spread. That's why I always pull up level 2, always look at that volume first, because the chart can look great, but suddenly you put an order, like a stop order out there or something, and put an order to get filled, and then realize liquidity is at a premium after you get into position. That's never something that you want.
Yeah, I was just going to look here and basically just say like a pullback to 206, 208, something like that in this range seems to be a good one for any kind of a short. It just caught me off guard. I haven't looked at DoorDash in a while. 21,000 shares. Obviously, the spread is $1.50, but yeah, into here. Look, like I said, any name that's come in the last 16 to 18 months, I'm not super excited about it, but DoorDash has actually been performing quite well. I mean, you want to talk about an IPO that's actually above its IPO price in the last, like I said, 18 months. You got one of them right here, and that's DoorDash, and it might not be for long. IPO'd at 180, 182, and now you're coming back to the downside. So you have some clusters here supporting that IPO price, which makes a lot of sense. So, I don't know if this comes back in. We don't have, DoorDash is here in Canada because I got my brother a DoorDash gift certificate for his birthday or for Christmas, part of one of his gifts. And I just see so much more Uber. I see so much more skip the dishes, and I just don't know what DoorDash's footprint really is in the United States. So, obviously that's going to be their primary market, but I like the business. I think that more people have become accustomed to this door delivery service, and I know DoorDash also does, delivering of products. Like I think they have a deal here in Canada with PetSmart, things like that. Because I know my wife's gotten same day delivery for animal care and food and things like that. So yeah, DoorDash, good name, good product. I like the business. I just don't know enough about it to say anything as far as an investment. But to short up here around 206, 208, I think is good. There's definitely some resistance up here, and we'll see if it can hold that level. If it holds 200, maybe it trades up here and gives us an opportunity. Then if the market falls like it's kind of doing right now, then we will see about DoorDash much lower than that 200 spot.
Another one along those lines on this board this morning, guys. Airbnb up here today. Cohen with an upgrade today, 220 on the price target. AIG, AGCO, MGM. Some of the casinos I did note were positive in the pre-market. MGM with Credit Suisse upgrade. That Allogene to the downside again today. That's that ALLO stock. FDA put a stop on one of their trials. The past couple of days has been very volatile. Amgen on here as well to the downside.
Airbnb caught the upgrade. That was one of the names that I was trying to get into. We're really lucky. We will talk about. Someone just put John Gruden on there. I hate that guy.
Let's not talk about that.
I was actually saying that how much I hated that guy to Marissa over the weekend. I was like, I can't even watch the Raiders, and then let alone this story. But look, one name that we're not in that I wish I was in is Wynn, and I just wish we were in here. I wish I was in LVS. We talked about this a lot over the last little while. We even talked about it this day when Macau came and dropped the hammer, the Chinese government. And, with the rebound in Alibaba, the rebound in a lot of these names, yeah, it may be a little bit overdone. MGM doesn't have that kind of exposure, so I do like MGM here as well. But again, I just wonder if we've missed some of this move here. Come on. Some of the move in the casino names. All I hear about is, people inviting us to Vegas, people loving Vegas. I have a few friends that have recently been to Vegas and had a great time there. And, it's a shame. Like, these are pretty easy calls, man. It's like, of course they were going to get rocked in COVID. Like, MGM went down to $5, man. It's at $45 now. So as much as I like my square buy at 35, how good is this at 4 or 5, 6 even? I guess the very bottom was 6, but how good was this at 8 then? Okay, all the way up to 45. So MGM looks like it's taking out the other highs. Another name that I like because you just have domestic. Oh man, like some of them are NASDAQ. Like it's like half here. NASDAQ New York between Caesars and MGM and Wynn and all these names. But Caesars, of course, only 300 shares traded today, so we're not going to get any movement. But again, another name that we like. Some of these names getting involved now. MGM I like domestically because they're sort of straightening out their online aspect. So I really like that. But like even Caesars, no, something must have. Did this reverse split maybe? It must have, because look at the volume picking up there ahead of it. But anyways, Caesars, regardless, $30 up to $115. I don't know what this was about. I'll have to find out about that. That seems like 11 to, is it 11 to 41? I don't, maybe it was 10, 4 to 1. Therefore, Caesar, we'll have to find out more about it. I'm surprised I don't remember that. But anyways, Caesar's a nice move to the upside. And then the other name, which I'm going to say is New York, because I've looked at LVS and traded it a lot. So there we go. Thank God. That would have looked foolish if I was wrong on that one. LVS, another name, of course, that's going to be beat down because of their Macau exposure. So a tale of basically 4 companies. You get the 2 domestics there, MGM and Caesars, and then you get the two that are a little bit, outside looking at Macau, and LVS is the one that really hasn't gotten off. So we'll wait to see if LVS cracks his 50 period. But for that reason, I like Win better.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Caesars feels pretty safe. I just checked it up, and the site I looked at was like no splits in their history. So I stand a little bit confused as well. I'll very, very briefly talk about that ALLO. Kind of feel like at some point it's just got the downgrade, and Brendan mentioned it's been volatile. Well, that's an understatement. I thought there would be some kind of a dead cat bounce. It looks like that might have already happened, but let's just watch out for this 13 bottom that it put in since the news came out. As long as it wants to hold that, there's at least a chance that it could break back up and retest the initial 1650 bounce that it has. But man, if this 13 goes, then it just continues to pile on. It's no longer SSR because it's been a couple of days. So if 13 does break and there's volume down there, I mean, you're going to be able to hit that bid. I am in this GWH. It's a recent SPAC that I don't know, man. Like there is so many of these SPACs, and I'll get to it because we're in the position that'll trade one day and then do a ridiculous gap up the second day. That's what happened when this gapped up to $17 and was immediately trading down. I came in and saw this thing, sort of sitting here breaking through 14 even, and there was no volume on that pickup. It's falling all the way down. It consolidated 13. I shorted that into 12. I then shorted the pop 13 and a quarter. Got some out 12.70. I've taken one last shot at it because it popped up to 14, and it's starting to show some signs of strength. But I was just able to get some more shares out on the bid. I should be showing you the 1 minute chart. So every single time it's been popping up, I've sort of been shorting the consolidation and then catching a winner. But I feel like if it breaks 14 here, I'll let this one go and let it test those highs. But from now on, it's like if there is a first day SPAC. And you see it have any juice to it, sometimes it's just like anticipate the bit of a gap up there. As long as they do this on no volume, though, the fade is usually pretty solid, especially in the pre-market. Very thinly traded, though, so do be careful. It's not even a million shares in the pre-market yet.
Just watching some of the vaccine names here, J&J and Moderna, specifically. Moderna positive on the morning. So Thursday this week, an FDA advisory panel is going to review a third shot booster of both J&J and Moderna's vaccine. This morning, both are releasing some of the supporting documents that are going to go into that panel's decision. So J&J's, some of the details just coming out on J&J, Moderna already has, but Moderna up about 1.75 now. In the pre-market, so just keeping my eye on some of the things that are coming out for both of those. Moderna's on the list, so let's just get right into it, guys. Why don't we have a look at what is moving in the pre-market? If you're looking for our morning watch list, that is the link you need to go to find it. Absolutely free to you every single day. All you need is an email address to pick that up. We'll talk about, as I said, the vaccine names, but let's start with Tesla, guys. Nice positive move for Tesla here in the pre-market, back towards 800 once again. After some Chinese-made vehicle numbers came out, 56,006, in fact, sold. These are Chinese-made Teslas, which is the highest ever since they started manufacturing in Shanghai.
Yes, sir. And look, you're going to get another positive news catalyst for Tesla. And I wish I could say that these were causing it to break out, but it's obviously strong. You can sort of see here both the 50 and the 200 moving rather nicely and bouncing to the upside. But it's this 800 level that's turned into. It's a bit of a barrier. It's been broken several times at this particular point. I think when I was putting in my morning note this morning, it needs to put in a higher low definitively here. I think that's what we need to see. Ignore this little bit of a whip here, but. So what I want to see happen is a morning support that holds that 790 area. Yesterday you had the break and then you dipped back down, you broke that 90 level, got down to that 87 and then held it pretty well. And then it looked like that was going to be the day. And what happens? We end up breaking in the aftermarket, right back to that 9 level and then breaking it in the aftermarket. So, you're going to gap up today on any kind of a dip. I'd like to see it hold in front of that level. I think we then really get that big test of the 800, which is right here back and forth. 807 is going to be the recent high. Ignore this. I think it was a couple of sessions before. There you go. 807 was that recent high, and this happened right at the open, a hard failure. You then had another push late in the day, tried to get there, and it had a hard failure. We're trading it that day as well. So I'm looking for that 790 on a dip. And I'm sort of anticipating that this time, if it does dip to that price, it doesn't travel through, it holds above. And that kind of means that you got to be out in front of it if you get the opportunity. That just feels a heck of a lot safer of a way to play this to the long side than continuously trying to buy at $800 and hoping that this one goes when your risk is down to 790 and it can't seem to break past that 807. So I'm going to go with the dip buy in Tesla. It feels like it's primed for a breakout, but until that until it takes out like 810 or something like that, you're really limited to, okay, do you buy at 800 and do the tiny scalps, or do you try to catch it on these dips? That 87 to 90 area has been a pretty good one, so we'll go back to that well in front of it.
The only EV name, like we talk about it, like that I've seen in the last little while that's actually caught like decent upgrades has been Fisker, but it's not really moving. So I say you could buy Fisker here below the 50-period moving average as well and off of this 12 bottom. So Fisker right now has an opportunity to go up. We've seen what Lucid has done, off some decent news off that pipe when that came off there, the pipe date there. Lucid was down to $15 and then just ripped to $30, and now you're back down to 23. So waiting to see the pipe investments. Now my chart's not even loading, so I don't even know. But these charts were so good for so long, and then now it's just crazy. We're actually going to, we should do that. We're going to put a QR code up for the watch list. I saw that Kramer's doing that, and I think that's a good idea if you guys get to watch us a little bit fast. But this is the point here. Lucid takes off, and not that I think that Fisker has the opportunity to double like this, but I like Lucid here. It's bouncing a little bit as well. The 50 period is just starting to form right now on this former SPAC, but 2250 may be a good spot for Lucid. To the upside, even more, $24 and change. So I like Lucid and I like Fisker down here if you're looking for something cheap. But again, as a long-term investment, I mean, I think Fisker could work, but there's nothing. Forget about these charts, man. Honestly, there's nothing better. You don't need. Yeah. This is going to be a rough day. Not trading wise, just for my mentality. It's going to be Tesla all the way for me, man. I wish I could get into NIO, but I just feel like there's too many, macro events around NIO that I just can't really support right now. So we'll wait to see if the Chinese government can back that name. But for now, I like Fisker, I like Tesla, and I'm looking to dip into NIO.
All right, let's have a look at the overall market here. We'll bring in Arun, get his take on the futures, Arun, that are still in positive territory. Red to green here in the pre-market.
Yeah, and that's how I think you're going to start to see this market do around these price points. We kind of are stuck between some major actionable areas for programs, specifically around that 44.30 up top, and then around this 43.30-ish area down below. So anything in between opens the door for some program trading, and that's what you're seeing a lot of this move up, sharp move up. You saw that yesterday in the morning. We got that aggressive move up, then we got that aggressive move down. From that point on, we just kind of sold off from 44.05 or so all the way down into 43.45 into the close yesterday. And here you are, the market went down as low as 43.20, back into the 50s, 60s now, 65. So it's very difficult to identify exactly which areas you want to work with because the levels are stacking on top of each other, above and below. So I'm going to say, you know what, for now, we'd like to see a move below 42.95. That is almost 70 points below, yes. But if we can get below there, it could open up the door and kind of break through that support zone or that program support zone through the bottom. And up top, I would like to see 44.25 go. That would be the top end. Yeah, and you can see how wide the range is. That's almost like 130 points or so. So it's a really wide range for us to actually really get going. Obviously, there's going to be trades in between them, but the problem with that is they've got to be short-term trades. You've got to see the area, take the shot, and then get out and move out of the way if it were to come back around. And you're going to have to wait for these levels to develop as the day goes on as well. We are coming back from a bank holiday. The markets were open when the banks were closed, I believe, yesterday, so there was no bond auction. So keep an eye on the bond auction at 1 p.m. today. That could move the markets, and we've seen that in the past as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. So just be aware that there's going to be some volume coming in that wasn't there yesterday, and that could move the market aggressively one direction. But again, we can only go so far without being tethered back into this mid-range area stuck between two program zones. So just be aware of that. And as the day goes on, levels will develop. And when that happens, you're able to take your shot until we break past those 2 points that I mentioned. These are going to have to be short-term trades. Just take your shot, make your money, walk away, and see if you can get something else going the opposite direction again. But for now, just wait for the open and see what we can get in terms of levels after the market's open.
Yeah, similar setup, it would appear anyways, to yesterday. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Nike, guys, higher here in the pre-market after Goldman Sachs initiating coverage with a buy rating for Nike, up about 1%, as I said.
Yeah, so thank you, Goldman, for that. And yeah, we were buying Nike a little bit here, when we went down to this 145 area. We talked about this going back to, into some past resistance, now turning into support, right? So it was kind of a no-brainer for me to do that back here at 145. So we stepped in, bought some shares, and we're pretty happy with it up to 150. I mean, this is a long-term play. So, I mean, I hold about 30 or so of these names, if not more. Actually, I should do a little bit of a cleanup, I guess, in aisle 5 on some of my positions. I have a lot of them. But right now, Nike, I like it. I mean, and what Goldman's talking about here, I mean, it's future expanded growth. They do have the online aspect booming a little bit right now. So I like it. I think we take out this 154 right here. That makes sense to me. So we'll see. It's only 152 right now. Bouncing around a little bit here in the pre-market, but not doing too much. Just a nice upgrade, that's all. I mean, I don't think it's enough to move the needle for Nike. We have shipping concerns. There's lots of issues. I mean, still a lot of their product coming from China, so that's going to be a problem. We have containers sitting down, waiting to be emptied. So, I mean, Nike still does have, a few headwinds in front of it, but I mean, it's a nice bounce back. The market hasn't been super, super strong, but on a nice little bounce back in the market, Nike seems to be following. So, we'll take the upgrade with a grain of salt, but we're already in it. So I think that's great. I do want to add to my position, obviously. I'm thinking about doing that if we get to this 160 area for a run to 175, but at the same time, I'm a little bit nervous about the market. So we'll see what happens here with Nike, but I'm glad for the upgrade. Makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, there is some upside there. They have the healthy backdrop. I mean, NBA's starting right now. So, and we have the Winter Olympics as well coming through. So I just think Nike's going to be everywhere. And when we see that, I like it. So we'll see what happens with Nike here about best of breed. So we'll buy that. I also like Lululemon.
Yeah, I mean, look, they even have support at the 200 period there, even if it falls back. I have the 15-minute chart up here just in case volume actually picks up on the stock and you get a bit of a bump. Just showing you guys a bit of a double top that it had here. It's like 153. What's the actual price here? Nike. 153.70 or so. There's a bit of a double top that I'll be watching at least today, just in case volume comes in. I don't really see anything happening right now, but if it pops in, you might have a little bit of a reversal off of that level. It could be setting up for a bit of a head and shoulders. So you'd if it were to break down, I don't know if the market's going to be selling off here, but if it were to break down, you might see that. So let's look at that. I mean, Nike, if it gets to that 200 period moving average, I think that's going to be obviously a screaming buy. There's some other retailers I do like as well. Probably looking at Macy's if it drops any further. For those of you that I know people were asking about that NTRB, still no locates, by the way, although I got a price quote. I was like, oh, tease, we got a quote per share, and then there were nothing available. So it was going to say 18 cents a share, and then you couldn't get them. It just did a dip buy. I said there's some really, really deep dip buys, but there was an iceberg at 1050. Maybe put that in the chat there. It got broken twice, ended up holding. I jumped in front of it. This is a scalp trade all the way. Like, there's no chance I want to hold this past, like, maybe even like a 1040 level, and then I want to get this out in front of that 11. Starting to show signs of cracking back in, but this is the first dip. It's been holding VWAP every single time. It's been holding these even levels, but an iceberg at 1050 did take a lot of shares there.
Just heads up on that one. 4.3 million share float, guys, on NTRB today. Let's go to NVIDIA. EU officially kicking off an investigation into their $54 billion proposed $54 billion acquisition of ARM. So this is going to follow one, if you remember, by UK regulators that wrapped up positively. Nothing really came of that. So the EU officially starting this, which could finally get this, maybe not over the finish line, but a little bit closer to the finish line anyways.
I mean, you had to buy the stock on dips, right? And I think that if you were able to do that on NVIDIA and you had some conviction that the market was going to bounce back, then you're going to have a winner for a very long time. I mean, I don't know if we ever come back to 190. Again, the market's going to have to go back to some lows for that to happen. This ARM deal, I don't even really to me, it doesn't even matter. I mean, they are what they are, and if they don't get this deal done, they'll probably get something else done, or there'll be some concessions. It's going to get done, so I'm not worried about that. You are starting to break out right now through 211, 212, so we'll see if that can happen. I mean, that's going to have to be the breakout, I guess, right in here. Unfortunately, I have to zoom in just a little bit too much because we don't show here. Let me show this one. We have still the split price above that. So here it is right here on the daily chart. I just think we got to get through this, kind of back and forth action here. There's a lot of names that look like this. Microsoft, some Apple that's battling around these areas here. So again, if the market breaks higher right now, NVIDIA's an all-time winner through 212. So watch out through 212, get that upside, then you're going to be looking at 230 real quick, right? So that's about 7-8% to the upside. I think you definitely have that to get back to days all-time high. And when a stock like NVIDIA dips like this, so that's 230, so $23 down, puts it to 200, and then you get that other little dip down there. So you get about a 12 to 15% retracement in NVIDIA. That happens again, man. We're going to be buying that hand over fist. So let's see if that can happen. I'm not worried about the ARM deal. I just want this to break through 212, and then I'm going to buy some more NVIDIA.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you're just talking about pushing things back for them. It'll be a fantastic acquisition in the event that it happens, but sometimes these things drag their feet. You have a bit of a level getting, and on the 15-minute chart, you can see 207.50 to 207.60, kind of resistance, and then you got a gap up, and then a gap down below it. The only time it traveled through that price, you can see the extremity with which it did so, and then you're looking at support basically right there in the pre-market here today. So about a dollar away from it. It was tested on some volume right at 9 o'clock, and then we bounced back through it. So I'll be looking to see if there's a bit of a dip down at 9:30 into that 207.50-ish area, and then that's where I think you want to pick up a bit of a dip buy on NVIDIA. Not a ton of volume here today because, as Sean said, like this story. And again, like if you're doing like merger arb, that kind of a thing, like maybe you care about the ins and outs of that. I just kind of feel it's not really the catalyst. It's bouncing back up here because the market looked like it was going to be down, and now it's bouncing up. So I want to see if we can get back into that 207.50 at 9:30, and then that would be the one place that I'd be looking for a dip buy there. I covered that into your NRTB, so it bounced off that iceberg order. I put an explanation of an iceberg in the chat. I hope that made sense to you there, short the dip. And I'm out just because that's at 11 top. So in and out. If it dips again, I'd probably look at $10 and I'd look at $9.50 and just keep scalping it.
All right, let's go to one we don't typically talk about a lot, GlaxoSmithKline, with news today. Reports suggesting that private equity firms showing interest in the company's $54 billion consumer arm. This is after the company said back in June they were looking to maybe offload said consumer arm. So 3%, that's a big move for Glaxo. If you look at the daily chart, it doesn't really put in that kind of a move typically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like if you traded this one in the pre-market and faded at 40, which was exactly like the 50-period moving average here, which is crazy. Like it's basically at the 200 and bounces off that, gaps right to $40 even, which is the 50-period, and then retraces here. Because they said they were interested in making this a sale or moving on from this division, and they said they're in deep talks, I guess, or a deep stage. It's kind of difficult to fade it unless it's off of that obvious 40 level. I think you just got to buy it in front of support if that's going to be the only trade here. And what I had down when I looked at it, and I kind of went to the 15-minute here, was just if it gets right back into that previous resistance, right? Like if it just comes back to 38.75 to 39, then maybe it's a bit of a buy. Selling the quote-unquote news here, I don't know, not in an up market, not when it already reversed pretty hard off of that top, and especially because it seems like there's something to this. If it was purely rumor and there was no substance to it, yeah, then you might expect it to come almost all the way back, breach that 39, maybe head further back into the downside. But I can't say I expect that to happen with Glasgow, and your volume's okay, but I don't see this being a heavy day trade for us today.
Yeah, I'm just, I'll tweet that out about AMC. I'm looking long through AMC here if we can break 37.60 area right in here. So we're going to go look long on AMC if we can break that one. Basically the pre-market high and some levels from yesterday. So 37.60 in here. If we can break that, then I want to go long AMC. And I also want to talk about Camber a little bit here. Camber Energy, a lot of you guys looking at that today. Just looking at the chart from yesterday, you have this 152 bottom. So that's something to look at that, we'll see if we can test that. Obviously, the 170 highs from yesterday as well coming into play. It's too bad. My trades were just on here a couple seconds ago. I wanted to show you them from yesterday. Another positive stock for us yesterday. But this 143 breakdown right here, I mean, on the 20-minute chart, this is something that, looking at that level, it bounced off there yesterday. So if we get a 143 tester, I will look at that for CEI. So we're going to look at that right now on the breakdown for CEI here today. It's just, it's hung out here a little bit too much over the last couple of days. A nice bump up, and I just think that, where CEIs came from, unfortunately, my charts aren't loading, but you guys all know that, that this was basically, I mean, it was a penny stock down to 20 cents, 30 cents back in August. So that was a beautiful run up. Congratulations to everybody that was in that name. But I mean, just looking at that, I think it's definitely worth the short. I've averaged in, people asking about my NTRB. I'm not getting out of anything here until we break back down below 10. So if that happens, then we'll get out. We'll average into that as well. But yeah, NTRB, I was going to take the 50, but I just thought if it breaks that, then we have a chance to get into here in the 20s. So right now we're about flat. I mean, we're down 19 cents on this name. I still think we take out the high, so we're going to wait for NTRB. This could be my biggest winner here today. So price target for it, people asking. I mean, here's the 20-minute chart, so higher than this. But I mean, I don't really, when you're looking at where do we really go with a price target on this kind of a name? I mean, we were $6 a couple days ago. We went up to $8, and then yesterday we opened here, I guess, at 7. Or 2 days ago, $7.98, dropped to $6.60. Then yesterday, not too much movement. Today we take that out. So even if you say, sort of like half of one of these candles is a decent move, because that's $6. So it's about $3. So today's $8, $3 up is 11. So, I mean, I don't really have a price target for where NTRB is going to go. My first out, though, I do have an offer at 11.25. So we'll see if 11.25 hits. I like to play the quarter. So for me, 11.25, 11.50, 12. If we're lucky enough to get all of those prices, then we'll be lighter on this position, and we'll see where we go from here. But I'm going to be dumping this. And again, if my out's going to be, I'm long at 11. So if my out's going to be 10, I kind of got to make at least $1 on the trade, right? So let's see if we can make some momentum to the upside, get some out, take our average price a little bit down, and let's see what we can do with NTRB.
Impressive move yesterday for SoFi Technologies on the upgrade. We mentioned Morgan Stanley talking about a whole bunch of positive catalysts for the company yesterday. No real additional news to talk about today, but significant level that it rejected a couple of times. 1850 right above us here, guys. We're holding the top end of the range from yesterday.
Yeah, 17 break, 18 consolidation, 18 break in the afternoon, 18.50. It was respecting those quarters and 50s. Like the structure of it was so very clean. Even look at the end of the day. Look at the pullback. That pullback at 2 o'clock, like that was right to $18 and then right back up to 18.50. So it broke it by a couple of pennies. So you can look at that and say, okay, well, maybe you want to get 51s, 52s. I don't think he split those hairs. If it breaks 52, fair enough. That's a breakout. That's a breakout at 50. On a dip buy, I'm already sort of sitting pretty deep on the stock because I don't want to forget about it. If it gets back to like 17.50, I 100% want that. However, if it does dip to 18, I'm very likely to have a quick look at it at 9:30 and then make more of a judgment call. I'll sit on the bid in case there's a huge flush. I'm just sort of forgetting about it and be ready for it in front of 17.50. But at $18, I'd probably have to wait a little bit on it. But 18.50's break. It's similar to yesterday. Like you sat down yesterday and you were looking at that double top, and then you sit down today and you're looking at another double top for a potential breakout. So not really going to change the litmus for me too much on SoFi.
So yeah, SoFi here yesterday, my executions aren't showing up on our charts, or we'll have to go back to Twitter. Yesterday we bought 1680s, we bought 17s, and then it ripped all the way to 18 and change, 1840, 1850. We're still long that name. So yesterday we took $1 clean on SoFi in a couple of these trades. So yesterday we were buying these dips. It was all over the sticky note. Happy Thanksgiving again from yesterday's sticky note. But look, SoFi's on the note again. So here we go. Let's see what we can do. If we can break this 1850, then it's go time for me, hardcore. We are also going to be waiting back down in here into this dip spot. So 1785, whatever. We got to stick our neck out a little bit here on SoFi and see if it can hold the highs. I mean, this name continuously, it's kind of like Palantir a little bit, where they continue to disappoint and they get back. So we'll have to wait to see what happens if it does give anything back here on SoFi. I mean, what a monster run yesterday. Congratulations. I'm finally in the money on my SoFi position, which is nice. So, you know, whatever. We'll wait to see. I mean, I'm in the money barely. I think 1785 or something like that is my name, is my spot. My name is Sean. Up to 1850. So I think that we could break that today. And I'm looking at SoFi long. So we'll get any dips. If we're lucky enough to get that yesterday, maybe we get it today. But I do like SoFi here. It should be a good one.
We get to Moderna here, but let's quickly talk airlines, guys. A couple of individual stories in the airlines again today. Most are higher. They put in decent moves yesterday. I mean, I'm just looking at American here, low down here around 1990 up to 20 and a half. American updated their Q3 numbers today, said they're only going to be 25% below where they were in 2019. So pre-pandemic, only a 25% haircut for Q3 for American. There's also the love story that we talked about yesterday for Southwest.
I mean, we'll look at Southwest maybe a little bit later on, but when I went through all the different airlines, or at least the ones that we would be interested in possibly trading, at least American stood out. And this is sort of the reason why. Like, you get a double bottom right at an even $1.20 level, including a breakout off of that level today. And then you made a high here at 2050. You got a 2045 pre-market high as well to go alongside it. So, you know, I'm basically looking at like a 2050 breakout. You got support down at $20 here that you can play off of as well. It sets up a little bit better from a charting perspective than anything I saw on Southwest, which I know has the catalyst and the story behind it. But I mean, you know, clean 2050 break. I wish there was more volume behind it, but I guess typically the way it's been trading, not a ton in the pre-market. There wasn't a lot of volume yesterday when it made this breakout off of the double bottom, so you're looking for a double top break on AAL. Very similar. It's not completely similar to SoFi because that's a stronger looking chart in the short term, but you gotta love the amount of times it's like 1, 2, and then again yesterday in the pre-market trying to break that $20 level and finding some support that also happens to be like right here bouncing off of 50 period and then trying to extend, you know, breaking back above that 200. There's a bit of a cluster forming here on AAL, and maybe you get that big breakout. You're supported by the market trying to get to the upside as well right now.
Let's talk Moderna here. As I mentioned, both J&J and Moderna going in front of, or their results at least, going in front of a FDA advisory panel on Thursday for their third shot booster recommendations. I mean, there's some data that came out this morning from both suggesting, obviously, that it's a good idea. Moderna saying after 6 months. J&J, I think, was a little bit longer than that. But overall, worth having a look here. Moderna, obviously, one that can give you some moves.
Yeah, and the thing is, I wrote down today for myself, it was like, wait for 14, 16. And then on the bottom, I mean, 92 to 95 support. I don't know if we're going to get that today. But all I mean by that is, in my executions, we're showing this morning, but like Sean said, sometimes they pop in, you got to refresh the chart. But we were shorting this thing basically every other day. We shorted it and lost because I didn't really wait for that 314, 316, which is hilarious because we're just talking about that. I was talking about that level with Greg, our manager, last week, and it's like, why don't you just wait for it? It touched 14 and then reversed. You see every time it's gotten up here, it's been that resistance. So if it claws into that range, allow it to come into that. I should have said 14 to 16, but I should have said 17 because it kind of got here. If it gets into that range, I think that's where I'd like to get into it. If it breaks that 17, that's where you just simply get out. But it's going to be all about the patience for me when it comes to that. And just to jump from that name to another, because everyone is asking about Ocugen. Not ducking Ocugen. I actually have an order out on Ocugen right now. I did miss an opportunity to grab this one to the short side when it broke 860. It was consolidating in this range, 840, 845 to 860. If it pops in at 930 into that range, I want to take this into the short side of the trade. This is what Ocugen is dealing with right now. You have a fantastic, set of higher lows that are being put in and some great consolidation. But every time they get positive news, and keep in mind, they're late to the game with the vaccine. At the end of the day, how much of a market left is there for the vaccines anyways? Right, so even if they get the emergency use, even if they get to market, you have to ask yourself how good it's going to be for them. Anyways, that notwithstanding, every time it's popped $9, it's basically rejected shy of 950. So 935 here, lower high at $9. It does the same thing again today. can't break that 915, couldn't even get to that 936. So I want to be probably taking multiple shots at this. First one off of this 860 area. If that were to break, I'd go right back and say, okay, let's wait for the test of 9 to that 915 and then see what happens. But the history sort of shows you, the pattern is that it's usually a fade when it gets this news. You can typically catch, you can look at the chart and simply say that you typically are able to catch a bit of a consolidation bid at some point, but that is usually a couple of days later. In this case, it was 3 days. Here, it took like 5 or 6 days of a turn. You tend to think it sells off. So I'm going to stick with that pattern as long as it keeps doing it.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about Moderna already. I mean, I think it's going to be a short until it gets to that 220, 230 area. I mean, they're doing a lot of things. They're not just vaccines for COVID, but there's a lot of other stuff happening in the background with cancers and things like that. So, we've already talked a little bit about Moderna, so that's what I like. Still looking at this SoFi here, and we're still, I'm only in one position. This NTRB, I think, still flies. So we'll see what happens there on the open, but so far so good here today. Only one position. We'll wait to see what happens on open. It should be a big week. Yeah, Alibaba, we'll have to look at that. And and Affirm. Affirm, so there's only a few names that are on my sticky note today. Nike, SoFi, AMC, Affirm, and Palantir. So we'll watch all of those. We've talked about AMC. We've talked about here's yesterday's Affirm trade, so that's good. What I wrote down for Affirm here, guys, was basically this break that we thought could happen yesterday that didn't. This 137 break. So if Affirm breaks through 137, we'll take that. Might happen right away off open, but there are some dip buy opportunities in Affirm too. 133 and change. So again, it just depends on what the market does. But Affirm's been really hot lately. And I mean, the 20-minute chart just shows you a lot of momentum, but it does give back. So, just be very, very careful. We were just at 108 a couple days ago, right? So we're up to 140 now. That's a big move for a $100 stock, but still room to grow. It's like Upstart, where if you're in the right space with the right people in the right business, you can grow this. So we'll see if Affirm can take out that 137. I might as well put my order in right now. I mean, we only have 5 minutes to go. I'd hate to get in, so we won't be huge on it, but we'll put some bids lower, and we'll take out a 137 bid here on Affirm. Brendan at the big screen.
All right, Proterra, guys, little one, bottom end of the list this morning. It's worth mentioning this stock barely trades, typically, volume typically very, very, very low. Up this morning on positive news. It's a monster level at 850. If you go back a couple of months, kind of 850 to 870, you want to call it a range. It's trading below VWAP right now. It's worth noting. This has already come off quite a long way. There's also significant support at 850. So we're kind of in the middle of what could be a bit of a chop zone. Decent volume, though, still for Proterra, which is Terra, guys, on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, keeping it nice and simple with that symbol. PROG, Prague, another one from yesterday that was a bit of a mover. It's come off. Look, we thought there'd be a chance that it would take out, or at least challenge again some of those highs. You're not going to see that happen. It opens up and immediately fails off of 250. I got the 15-minute chart up so you can sort of see the previous resistance that was sitting at this 250 to 220 range is being respected so far on this little bit of a recovery on PROG. So as I pop back over here, you kind of look at this for a potential break at 215. I hate to say it, but you see that spike up. And then you see the gap up and fade. That kind of tells me that there's resistance at 240 or up around that range. And I'd rather be fading it than anything else. We talked about Tesla already. It's trying again to get above that 800 level. If it dips, I want to be buying in front of 790 if we get the chance. And then with only about 3 minutes to go, we talked about Oxygen. You mentioned CEI, Sean. I mean, sort of the same thing we're saying this afternoon. There was one trade, there was one really good trade, I suppose, which is also the name of a book, in CEI, and it was that breakdown. Sometimes executions on the chart is not necessarily a thing that helps, but that went exactly to 141. Now keep in mind, 141 was a resistance level from the dump down. It was exactly sort of that level when it reopened on that monster flush price that was key, and then ended up being resistance the next day. So that's a big level at 141. I like that for a breakdown, but I am not ignoring this 170 because the reopen high, if you think about that same move, the reopen high was a 171. And then if you then put in that same top in the afternoon yesterday, 171. If we get above this 150, 171 is a monster wall, I think, for CEI. So in addition to sort of looking at that bottom from when we took the short at 155, which is a 141, 171. If it gets to the upside, CEI is going to be and have a lot of trouble getting through that price. For now, it's only fading and down 10%. And I told you guys I would get out of that GWH if it broke that 14. I did. I just wish I had reversed it. It's now up to $15. Now, like some of these highs are on low volume up at 17, but there's nothing else to work off of. It's only been trading 2 days. So, I mean, at this point, you're essentially looking at 15 and 17.50 because there's nothing else to see.
So we dumped our Facebook, at 329 or whatever. We were thinking that it wasn't a good move when we ripped up to 330 or so, or sorry, it's 339, I believe it was recently. Yeah, there it is right there, 339. So we dumped it in all of this movement when we had the whistleblower action. So we actually got a little bit of a bump back up, and we got literally 329.85 was my price. So somewhere in there early that day. And bumped up to 338. We thought we were a little bit in trouble, but obviously with the NASDAQ bouncing back and you're seeing Facebook now near these bottoms, I wonder when it's going to become a buy. I think it's already at those levels, but with all the rhetoric and everything that's happening with the whistleblower, that's unexpected, a little bit anyways, unexpected. I mean, I'm sure some people expect these things to happen to a company like Facebook, especially when you're questioning, ethics and the media and what you're allowed to show and not to show, and how you build the algorithm and things like that. I mean, it's just one of those names that you're going to have to watch out. So I'm looking at 300 as a bottom, to be honest with you. So I'll be buying some more when we get to there. Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you, Felipe, there. 300, 290 to 300. I want to be a buyer in here. So hopefully that can come in and we'll have that. We're still watching that NTRB. What I have on watch here is going to be AMC today as well. That should look out. It might take out that 3760. We do like that. No point in looking at the day chart for this. But then also we all are so on a firm right now as well. We get ready for only 30 seconds to go here. 137 on a firm. I like that break.
Yeah, with only 20 seconds to go. I see Maggie is on the bell. Of course, Miss V will be back tomorrow if everything goes well there. So let's start this turnaround Tuesday. I shouldn't have done that. Possibly turnaround Tuesday. Here we go. Ring the bell in under 10 seconds now. Watching some of these names. Tesla. I actually just got into PROG with 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it. So I'm going to be watching that GWH as well because it's starting to make a bit of a run there as it gets to that 16 level. But PROG, first test, looks like it's going to be trying to fail it, that 215 area. I do have some short here at 211. And I also want to see catch a bit of a dip if that NTRB tests 10 even, guys.
Yep, exactly. So we're looking at all these things as well here, looking to make some moves here today. Okay, so NTRB is coming back down. We will fade that. Affirm does right now get lit up to the upside there, so we are fine with it. But it is going to the upside now. AFRM 137. That's where we're long, guys. So we talked about that. Let's see if we cannot have some diamond hands today. That would be nice if we're able to have those and try to hold some Affirm. 138, 139. We'll see if we can get to this 139.50 area for AFRM. We'll see what's happening right there. This NTRB right back down near $10. We get out if it breaks 10, guys. So yeah, this stock doesn't look like it wants to go, even though there is some short liquidity on this name. It's only like what, 4 million free float.
Yeah, as I'm sitting here, I actually just got filled both on the bid of PROG, which we'll be happy about, and then violently on this NRTB, which is testing 10, right? I mean, almost right away.
Yeah,
that came in rather quickly. So apologies for not getting you guys to the chart because I'm sort of getting my orders sort of lined up and then getting some. Like I have to take some shares out here of that PROG because this is a pre-market low at 2 even. But I'm telling you, that was a violent turn on NTRB. We talked about the float here. But it's so far it's trying to hold this dip, like right into this one. It held the first dip at 1050. Now it's trying to hold that 10. Decent chance it gets back to at least 1050 if it holds that. Nope, and it doesn't hold the 10 dip. So I'm out of that one. ROG continues to flush, but we can get back to that. Now it's that GWH that we need to watch, guys. It hasn't halted, but it's, I mean, like I said, $17.50. There's nothing else to look at because it's only traded 1 day, right? It's now up to $17. If it gets to $17.50 and shows any kind of a turn, I will take a shot shorting it, but with a hard stop. I mean, there's no way I let it travel past that price. You got to have a stop out. You got to be willing to have it blow through you and make a horrible out if you're going to risk something like this. It could also halt. It has already moved like a good, like 8 or 9% from the high here. If it breaks that top, there could be a halt trade as well on GWH. It's got a very low flow, so watch out.
Okay, so right now we're back into NTRB right now. We'll see where it goes from here, but it looks like it might go to the downside. Again, we just thought maybe we got a false break there, so we'll wait to see if it breaks through, 975, 9, something like that, just to give it that one extra little bit of a push here. Who knows where it's going to go, but right now we are back into the long. Maybe there was a little bit of a fail break there, maybe there wasn't, but we're back into NTRB. Our Affirm not really moving, although it's nice. It did go $1.50 $1 actually clean in the money. We'll see if we can get that back now on the upside of that name. So hopefully that can go, and then we'll be laughing all the way to the bank if a firm can get up the upside. We need to make back that NTRB money, which we are sort of doing right now. Let's see if it gets back into the 20s again. That would be a good trade for us. We're only long at 16, but we have 3 times the shares now. So I don't know. We'll see. Might give it back. Here we go. Let's see if we can go back to the upside on NTRB here. We're, like I said, 3 times the money. Just took a little piece out there. We'll see if we can go. There it is. Yes, sir. The diamond hands pays off a little bit on a firm as we take $1.50 there up to the upside. Now we're in the money, $1.50. Sorry, we took $1.20 on that out. 138.15. Sorry, $1 clean on that. And now we're going to the upside on a firm. We talked about having diamond hands. Let's go, baby. Let's go on a firm to the upside right now. $2 winner for a firm right now. So we'll put that one on the board here. We talked about this in the pre-market, how much we like that 137. So there it is, man. It's again, there's only 4 names on the sticky note here, guys, today. One of them is a firm, and there it goes through 137. That's a $2 winner. Hey, Neil, you talked about one good trade. Something that's all you need, buddy. Let's go.
Obviously going to be true. You need one good trade. We do have a lot of names that we like here. Watch out, Tesla. Not much of a dip. It's trying to test that 802, but watch out for this GWH. It did make a hard turn off of 17. It's now retesting that high. Remember I said there's only one level to work off of because it hasn't been trading. This is going to be the last shot here. I said I'm perfectly willing to take out that high of the day that sits at about 1770 or so. So you got to have a stop. I always think it makes sense to be true, but at the end of the day, this one could break out that high of the day. The NTRB, I should say. It's NTRB. Yep. If it breaks that 10, I'm looking at 950, and I sort of said this. I'm going to be at every single 50 cent, increment for the dip buy there. But right now, the trade is going to be that GWH. I'm short at 1650. I'm risking $1 plus slippage, which I expect to exist on this stock. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, there's a decent chance that you could get slipped by like 50, 60 pennies, something along those lines if it were to take out that 1750 top. If it does, then I'm going to be out. Watch out for the halt to the upside, though.
Okay, so we're also looking, I mean, again, Palantir has been pretty disappointing here ever since they got that big contract from the Army. It's down about $1 since then. So, we bought it at $24.50, $24.60, something like that day in the pre-market. Turns out not to be a good buy, of course, as it's all the way back to the downside. But Palantir does take off on that NASDAQ move upside here. So I'm actually thinking that, hey, maybe there's a buyer coming on Palantir. I don't know, but if it is, I want to be part of it. So we'll take this 23.67 out. Well, here it comes right now. Hopefully that comes to the upside. We'll take that out right now. We'll not take it out. We'll be long if it breaks. So hopefully we'll be long Palantir very soon. That should be a good trade. A firm still working into the money here. Where can that's still Palantir? Come on, charts. Unbelievable, man. How much better possibly would we be if I had better charts? Okay, so here goes Palantir to the upside now. 142 right there. That's a decent spot. 141, 140 and change. Don't want to leave too much money on the table for this one. So we're definitely watching out for a firm right now, and NTRB starting to go as well. Let's go, NTRB. Long at 15. I just went to 40 and came right back. Damn it. What's up, Brendo?
Watch the casinos, guys. We had MGM on the board this morning. All-time highs here, straight to the upside so far for MGM.
Sorry, there was a halt on that GWH. We've gone through this process before, but I did get the halt trade. I said, watch out for it. I was able to catch it. 18-13 on the long is always cover half wherever it happens to open, and then from there, I mean, I don't know, man. Does it go to $20? Does it go to 25? It's a small float. You really can't predict it, but I do want to hold just in case it's an absolutely gigantic move. And then this NRTB, it's NTRB. I keep saying NRTB. Wow. Eventually I'm going to get that one right for the first time. I stopped out here. It's now consolidating at this $10 level, looking like it wants to make a further break. If it does check down, I'm actually thinking more along the lines of letting it break 950 because this bottom here is more like 930 or so. So you got to give it some room. And I'm looking for the reload in PROG. I already started it. PROG. I already started it at the same price we got in the first time. Here we go, loading. And then you got this monster spike. Wait for that 230 here. And this is that lower high that it put in. This is where it seems to want to hold up. I still think 250 is all kinds of resistance, but watch out, Prague on the move once again. We're about 2 minutes away from that GWH open. We'll cover that when it gets there.
All right, spin the cash here as we're going crazy here with our Palantir a little bit. I mean, this is just a scalp side, so I just want to bring everyone's attention that we did scalp out 10 cents twice there on PLTR, so we'll wait to see where that goes. For now, anyways, on Palantir going to the upside. We'll see if it can slow itself down at all. We still have some targets up here, man, like $24 would be pretty sweet, that's for sure. Okay, so $3 in the money goes a firm. When went all the way up to 140 there, guys. So we're going to see if it could take that out one more time. And I'm going to look to get out in here, 141 and change for $4 or $5 winner. So yeah, we're trying to put these wins on the board for you guys here, man. And then that NTRB, we've talked about that as well. We'll look at AMC quickly here to see if that's doing anything. I don't know. Here goes AMC right now, 37. So it's coming in. We're waiting at 36.50 there for a bid. So we'll see if we can get that 36.50 bid coming out soon here for AMD or for AMC. That's like an area of concern for me. So as is 37.60. So 37.60 bid through there. And if we get a dip down into 36, we do want to buy that as well, as I do like those levels. So right now, this is what we're working with. We're trying to cook with some gas here, as a firm is really already cashed out a little bit there, but we are thinking that 140 might have just been a top. I still think it breaks, and we go to 141 and change. Hit us, Brendan.
Another one, guys, RRD, big mover so far today, almost 31% here. The company's owner, or one of the major stakeholders, looking to take the rest private. So RRD on take private rumors.
Yeah, definitely going to have a look there. Just also go back to SoFi. It didn't quite get to that 1765 or 50 area that I was looking to buy the dip. Got to 1784. I'm still going to sit there. I really don't mind sort of the price action, but I'm not sure we're going to get as far of a dip as we would have liked. And then back over to Tesla. Someone was saying, like, without Miss V, what are we going to do? Well, I wish I had the dip in Tesla, but I like that 790 area, so I was sitting in front of there instead. It just tested, remember 807? Yeah, that high. It just tested that 807 high and pulling back off of that same high. Still think it has a chance to hold bullish, although the market's trying to go negative as we speak.
Damn it.
Which is, and I said this, if it breaks, when Tesla breaks the high, I want the market to be with me. But man, it feels like today is going to be that day when it powers through that 807 area. So, oh my goodness, here it goes. I mean, there's a level at 808 now with some decent size. I'm taking that break if I can get it. It's just, at some point, you got to believe that it's going to actually go after one of these days that it tests this high. So I'll put my stop, even though the market slowing up just a little bit here.
808 and heartbreaks, guys. Yeah,
Boom like an 808?
Yeah, exactly.
Who was that? Never mind. It'll come to me.
Yeah, Kanye's album would be what I was referring to, but I think you're referring to something else. Palantir, okay, so just goes up again. We take some more out. I still think it can rip upside. We're going to take any more out here. Actually, as I say that, let me cancel my 80 offer here, and we'll see where we go from here. But for right now, we're thinking upside, guys. We're thinking a big-time upside surprise here for Palantir. It's holding out these bottoms. We just took out a little bit. We're still in 60% of this trade. So we're out of 40, we're into 60%, but all of it was pretty much out right here at 80s. That's where 30%, and then we took another 10% out right there at 73. So now we'll see if we can go to the high side there. NTRB, basically, we just got lucky there. We talking about Tesla or NTRB?
No, this GWH opened at 1950. So
big time.
I guess maybe it is going to 20. Well, I guess we'll ring the register for it. But I always, no matter what, on that whole trade, take out half and bank your profit. If it breaks 20, that's great.
Have to. I didn't even realize that one was halted. That's a great one there. Look at this NTRB. Like, we just got filled. Like, this is honestly, like, this is the same minute. So it broke through view up. We got some 40s or 36s there, and then it took us out on the downside. So I'm going to be away from this one. It is going to be obviously a negative stock on there as we buy. Forget about that. That's this loss. But then we tripled our shares there, and then basically flatted that trade. Like, got out some there, and then it broke the bottom. So I don't know. I don't think this is going to do much here today unless we take that out one more time, 1040 or so on NTRB. Other than that, man, we're going to stay away from that for a bit because it doesn't seem like it wants to make too much sense there. Good one, and that was GWH, right?
Yeah, GWH. I mean, and apologies for not remembering the name of the company. I mean, they came to market yesterday, and it is what it is. Like, it's tiny float. If it breaks 20 even, which it already has, by the way, it got to 2040, but then that was an immediate rejection back through 20 even. So if it takes 20 even for real and holds above it, I'll probably play it, and just in case it halts again. But if it halts a second time, if I take this halt trade, I'll hold some through the first one. I will never hold to a second halt. And if it breaks back into the downside here, I don't want to. Yeah, there we go. Now. There you go. Like, it immediately starts taking out that 18 even. And then when it does that, this is almost like a slip it out at break even kind of idea. If it cannot hold that original halt price down at 18, you got to say, okay, maybe you're not going to get that upside. It just flushed and held that halt. So for now, it looks like it's going to be okay, but I don't want this turning into a downward halt and then I'm holding along like a chump. Brendan, what do you got for us?
We haven't heard from Bio-Nanogenomics for quite some time. Nice move so far today, 7%. Just made a day high there. They've acquired this biodiscovery company for $100 million to further some of the work that they're working on. So BNGO on the move, guys.
And Bingo was his name? Well,
yeah, ATER, people talking about it being pretty strong. I don't have any shorts for that GWH. I'll have to get some. We will check out on ATER right now. like these charts, honestly, I have no idea why they're so bad today, but they are. So ATR starting to go upside as well. A nice big move, I mean, from 825 up to 870. That's pretty decent. You'll take that. That's, 6% or so. Moving to the upside, you see yesterday's levels, 885 maybe as a level, but it's pretty choppy in here. So I don't know, right now in ATR, it's just too choppy in this area. Maybe 870, you take out that 885, maybe then you're starting to go a little bit there at 885. Yeah, that's not a bad level, 9 as well. So 885 on ATR, maybe a level to go as well on that one. Even taking out this day high might be something, 870. So we can look at that as well. What does it look like on the 20-minute here for ATR? I actually don't mind a Tyrion right now. Yeah, the 20-minute doesn't look like anything. So I don't mind this 870 break. It has some momentum up to the upside right now. So 870 could break. A lot of nice green candles, green, all in here. So fading back in right now, but watch out for 870 on ATR, guys.
Yeah, and Tesla just can't seem to go without the market. I'll try buying the dip a little bit here, but you're kind of looking for, you're looking for it to hold like that VWAP there, which it's trying to do. If it bounced off VWAP, I'll take it. I think we got really lucky on GWH because it got to the halt price, basically didn't break it, and is now coming back into the upside. So I'm not going to change the plan too much. I do have a stop just in case 18 does break. We've got to be wary of that. But if 20 does go, I might cover it in front of a halt. If I see it's about to halt to the upside on a 20 break, I might try to get out in front of the halt instead of waiting for it to come back down. And then, like I said, I'll take a shot at getting some more Tesla shares on this little bit of a dip. But if we can't hold, like this original, right at the open, we got to about 804 here, right? And then you pull back, that was, I guess, your dip buy, and then we break out through that price. If it cannot hold this price area here, maybe down to like an 03, then maybe you're not gonna get that bigger move. And I'd love to see Tesla finally, split adjusted, we do this. I'd love to see Tesla finally make this break here, get out of this range, start testing at this 820 area, which is the next level up. And maybe it just can't go without the market. The market just turned red, so I have to have the stop at 03. Yes, there's upside on a 10 break that an 07 average here can give you like $8, like $10. But with the market having just turned red, I said maybe Tesla can't go without it. I elected to take the long trade anyways, and you see the results of it, right? It just can't seem to get any momentum. Thank you, NASDAQ, for turning red. That GWH is pulling back pretty hard. Then PROG here. I'm holding back.
That's tongue-in-cheek, the NASDAQ turning red there, because I know that we're both long here.
I know. It's like I'm frustrated by it because in the back of my mind, I said for 3 days, for multiple days, I want Tesla when the market goes with you for that break, and then I take it today when the market didn't go. That PROG, I was holding off. I wanted this thing to really test up at that 240 level before adding to it. It got to like 38. You're going to see me having missed out on this, which is kind of unfortunate for me. I don't know why Tesla stop didn't fill there, so we're going to have to get out of that one manually. But I missed this chance here to reload at 230 on PROG. You're going to see it fall in. I'm bidding right around VWAP just to see if we can take some shares out. But I missed an opportunity there while managing the Tesla trade.
Okay, so Affirm, man, we were cooking with gas here, and then all of a sudden, this market turned around, and like Neil was saying, I've been very, very bearish on this market, and I'm really surprised, to be honest with you, that we're trying to pick up some bottoms here on some of these names, but there we go, 135.12. We just picked up some more Affirm, so now my average price 135.80 off that 137. We already took $1 clean on it, so hey, man, if we can get back going, 135.80 is my current price now. That should be pretty good. And then just to check back in on Palantir, I mean, we emptied it out, but it's coming right into some defense areas again where it's just like I want to defend these areas on Palantir, but the thing is, like, I'm not very bullish right now. And it's just one of those things where it's like, although I love this 23 area, I keep talking about this on Palantir, right? And I don't want to look like, I'm not trying to trade this, but at the same time, my Palantir is not in a swing account. It's not in anything. It's in a long-term account. I like Palantir. I like what they're doing. It's well below the 50-period moving average. I think it's worth taking it, but at the same time, this thing can fall, right? This thing can fall $1. It can fall down from here. So we'll defend this 23 area, but again, I'm not going to start buying it now. I'd rather let this market fall down and be wrong on buying it too early buying it too late than buying it too early. So we're going to wait for Palantir to come down into the 23.20 area and see if we can get something from there. But for right now, Brendan hopefully has a name for us.
I know a little one making a big move today. Tiptree, TIPT, up about 28% here. Just made day highs on huge volume, guys. They got a $200 million in strategic investment from this Fortegra today for Tiptree.
Thank you very much for that one, Brendan. Thank you very much, community, for CCXI, hitting myself on the head for this because, I mean, I came in and was like, never forget about this stock because we were trading in the afternoon yesterday at this 42 top. Now, we had to short like multiple times yesterday off of these levels, and I think I'm going to go right back into that well, guys. I mean, there's almost no way you can't do it. 18 is just broken on GWH, so I'm out of that one. Wanted to make sure we got the second half out flat. Sometimes the halt reopen trade, it's just you should just pile everything into that and just take the one win and walk away from it. But as we get closer to that 42, I mean, you can see this stock with the gap fill that it had so far. And if it cannot get to that 44, you pull back a little bit. This is that support down at 42 even, and it's a bit of a double top as well. I like to hold on to some Tesla because there's some buyers here in front of 800 that snapped it right back into the upside. So yeah, I'm down on it, but I did trim some of it off. Just so I'm not holding the entire thing like $6-7 against me. But this 42 level, I'm definitely going to go short in front of it. But if it breaks, you got to look for a long break here. There's still a couple of bucks before this fills in that horrendous gap that it had a few months ago. So let's give this one CCXI a bit of a chance to get up there. I want to short close to that 42. So maybe in the 70 to 90 range, something along those lines. But there's no way I can miss out on this one after how good it was in yesterday's action.
Yeah, exactly. And we're right now just going to wait for something to fill up here. And it's going to have to be our Affirm trade's going to have to try to work for us a little bit here. Okay, that's still the 20-minute chart. Okay, I need the daily chart or the minute chart here just to see what Affirm's doing. So we did take another bid here. We're getting close to stopping taking bids at this point as we don't have a full position. I mean, we can hold a lot more shares than this. That's for damn sure. But just on Affirm, just looking at it here, you do have some of these levels coming back in 130. 133, 132. I need the 20-minute chart here. So here's the 20-minute chart right back in here. So these are these bottoms, 133.50. I'm willing to on Affirm dinosaur here a little bit with this name. So we'll see if it can hold out. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, great as well. Because right now Affirm, it will be horrible if it doesn't hold out. But I'm going to wait for 130. I'm just going to give this one a shot, see if it can go. We're long at 135.20. So we're basically long right here. One little bump up in this market puts us back into positive for Affirm. So that's what we're waiting for right now. Waiting for Affirm to go. And if it can, then fantastic. But right now, Palantir's also waiting to go. What about AMC? I still think Palantir goes. Like someone saying that, people are saying that, Sean said Palantir is going to go up. Yeah, well, I mean, that crystal ball of mine, sometimes...
It looked like a turnaround Tuesday.
I thought it was going to be,
at one point it did.
Yeah, at one point it did. I mean, yeah, exactly. So, you know what? You got to play the market. Here goes AMC. So this is another name. Just want to talk about it. We are going to get long through 37.70 here on a nice move to the upside. Let's see if we get some momentum here in AMC. It looks like it's trying to go, guys.
So we'll try to do this one for you guys because a lot just happened. One of them's Oxygen, right? I always start with the one that's going against me because that's the one that's of greater concern, right? So it just popped in. We said we wait for a pop. I shorted at 48. It then tests the middle end of this range here at about 860. So I was able to add to it only in a matter of minutes. You never want that to happen too quickly. The buying that we saw on Tesla, like I said, I trimmed some of my position on Tesla. And then I was like, when in doubt, zoom out. And that's not a good place to be trimming. I'm like, allow it to test that 800 level. So I do trim some of it. I take the hit. And to me, it's an ugly hit because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Because you got the breakout, and you took some of the shares on the breakout, if it's still in the momentum of going up, it doesn't mean that you have to trim in that regard, right? So either you size down to allow yourself to hold it further, or just hold the trade altogether because now you're breaking that 808 area. We're getting into that 810. I do cover some in front of 810. I want to be buying the next dip on Tesla. Remember I said 820 is the next level to go. So I want to hold these at least into a push to 815 or 820. With the market essentially now holding it flats and still looking like it's maybe a little bit weak here, trying to get a bounce. Tesla, again, is counter trend, so I want to give this one some room to see if it can't run and continue to go. The other trade we have on is PROG. I talked about missing the opportunity, and the opportunity cost of trading multiple names at once is, as I was waiting for this to curl and then catch them on the way down, well, guess what? You're not getting this on the way down unless you're on that level too and you're actively firing orders. If you catch it on the way up, you just sit there with offers out and you just let it catch you. So that's not the approach that I tried. It's now back into this $2 range. There was a wall at $2 on PROG. I'm going to be getting on the bid all over in front of it because, like I always say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And for me, this one's going to be doing this whole thing where it flushes. But I mean, look at how good it was on the flush a couple of times. If you can't see what happened, even like $1.95 and $2, all kinds of reason to be covering some prog in front of that level, at least from what I can see. I did get CCXI in front of that 42.16. That's a big level from yesterday. We're shorting just in front of it, and let's see what happens. And of course, OCGN was the other recent new position.
Yeah, and we're almost getting ready to give up a little bit on our firm. I mean, not give up. I already gave you the level. It's 130. So it's just that it is starting to go now to the downside, where we took one more average in here at 133, and it's not above that yet. So I mean, our average price right now 134.34. So we're out of this one $1 right now. Well worth it on the risk reward. I mean, we took $1 winner there, but now of course we have more shares. So as we've averaged in, so we'll wait to see. Averaging is never really a great idea, but on a firm, I mean, we have those levels. So. I hate to take a loser, obviously, but sometimes it's just going to happen. We talked about that, and that's 130. I just think that there's a level all the way back, back to late September. I mean, 131, 130. I mean, down into here. So let's see if this one can go. I mean, I still hope it does, and we'll see if that is the case. Let's check out Microsoft right here as well. Microsoft on a 20-minute, it is coming back in, obviously, as the NASDAQ's going to turn red. Microsoft's down 0.24, so actually down a little worse than the market right here. But you're into some areas, again, like 292 right here, trying to hold that level. So let's see what it looks like on the daily. The daily looks fine. As I said, talk about, remember when the market was really getting hammered there down here, and I said, you just got to buy the high-quality companies that are actually making money, which is why we go over to a Nike, we go over to a Nucor, we go over to a PayPal, and it's just Microsoft again. I'm loaded in Microsoft, so it's just that's a great quality name there. That's to the downside. So again, off any sort of worries, I'm not worried about Microsoft. But on a 1-minute chart here, it's coming in, so you could break through this 293. Could be a little bit of a problem. Of course, I'm hoping the market goes back up so we could sort of survive this affirm trade. But right now, Microsoft not looking horrible, especially if the market goes, we can maybe take this 294. I like that for Softy. I think it's a high quality company, but I just need this affirm to start to bounce back before I'm really serious about taking this Softy. But I'll take a small piece here at 294. What's up, Brendan?
Few clean energy names starting to go. We talked a little bit about it, or was on the watch list anyways. WWR. Here's SunPower as well, SPWR. Big move yesterday, took out that high. We're off to the races here for SPWR, up about 7%. I also saw First Solar, guys, FSLR also moving.
Yeah, First Solar, SPWR, definitely moving. We talked about, I think with FSL yesterday, some of the clean energy space. With what's going on with oil prices going where they're going and the energy space doing what they're doing, you're going to get some I guess some tailwinds there for some of those names. Now this OCGN is finding a bid here at 850, but it's now like 2 or 3 times it's sort of crushing this. Go to the level 2 here. It's been 2 or 3 times that it's crushed this 850, and you can kind of see it sort of refreshing back and forth. I don't know if you'll get a chance to see it here. I can't make it do what it was doing like 2 seconds ago. But for the time being, it's holding this level. If it breaks down, I'm going to get on the bid, some in front of that 830, going to be out in front of like some 820s as well. I'm looking for the rollover here, but I do not need this thing sort of breaking the 875, right? I got a 55 short. I think the risk reward's okay at that price, but sort of adding into it down here, I wouldn't do. I'm looking for this bid to get cracked. Right now, it's not showing too many signs of doing that, although it keeps on selling into it, so let's see if it can hold up. I'm sort of betting, obviously, that it can't. PROG, I did have some more shares to bid out of it in front of 202. It looks like 207s as far as it went. Now that it continues to push higher again, I'm going to look back towards this 230 level. And if it gets up here, look for an entry between there and the high that it made at 237. CCXI topped out in front of that 42. And I thank you guys. Like if you watch the show every day, it's like it's so easy to miss out on symbols. It's even one that we were trading, like probably had like half a dozen or a dozen executions on CCXI yesterday, and then we were trading it at Power Hour was the last position I think that we had on right into the end of the day. So to have almost missed out on this a chance to take out this level or short in front of this level, whether it wins or not, I don't care. It's a simple fact that you guys reminded me, and I really thank you for that. So fantastic community. I said I would buy Tesla on the dip again. And if it does come down, this time I'm going to be looking to hang on to it and be a little bit more disciplined with it. I trimmed the position out of, it's like there's no other word for it. It's like I was mad at myself for not letting the market to bottom on a reverse and then trimmed at a horrible price at 802 when you should be looking for 800 to hold support. And the second I sort of sobered up and was like, okay, well, 800 has some buyers. Forget about the fact that your price is 807 at this moment and ask yourself, you're just long. What do you want to do with it? Okay, the momentum's still to the upside. 800 is held. be in the position. So I don't take out the rest. It's still, I think, a bit of a mistake. Probably took too many shares, I think, on the front end of the breakout. If you take more shares than the dip buy originally, that allows you to hold it. So I want to go with that plan for the rest of this time and see what happens. SoFi on the break, that took a while, but now it's going.
Spin it. Yesterday's trade of the day continues to be a good one, working here today for me. SoFi through 1850. We take that. It did have some problems at 55, so we take 5 cents out there, pay for the fees, and let's go to the upside now with SoFi. You know what the hilarious part is? We had a bid down here at 1782. I just looked right now. It only goes as low as 84. So yeah, randomly picking prices sometimes does not pay off. Look at Affirm. Now we're 33 cents in the money here. So sometimes we got to hold on to a little bit of this. We did take a piece out there, but you know we still have the majority of this trade. Again, you know, you can't take this much risk and then not take some off when we go back into positive land for you. So Affirm, we are back now positive on that name. We're looking to get some more out here. If I can get some more out at 135.50 or so, creating another $2 winner, we'll do that for us on AFRM. We're back to positive land on Affirm. So hey man, just telling you the way it is now. So we're long at 133.85. We'll see if we get some out at 134.50 maybe, and then we'll hold it out for a high side here. So hopefully the market can run, but maybe Affirm just made a bottom. So far so good on that one. Walking on water on that last bid, man. That was like, ooh, that was shady. When we took that 133, it dropped to 132. This could still fall. I mean, the market right now, it's coming back in. This is by far not a story that's done yet, but Affirm looking to take out some tops. Would love to get back to view up. I don't know if that's going to happen, so we'll sit around 134.70 or so, see if we can't take a winner ahead of that VWAP. But right now it is pulling back in just a little bit. We did take our softie. I told you it wasn't going to be a hard or a heavy trade, but I'm still looking to average back into this one, but I can't be long everything if this market's going to fall, right? And so we took some profit on SoFi there. We took some more on Affirm, and looking to average into Microsoft right now, but can't let this one go too much further than like this 292 area, 292, the bottom, 292.60, 292.70. So we'll average in one more time to Microsoft and see where we go.
And we'll be happy about this one. We'll do the whiz action for that CCXI. It goes right into 41, so it's short in front of 42. It's out some in front of VWAP and 41 even. I'm going to hang on to this trade. If it takes out the top, that's the way for me to get out of it. That NTRB just halted to the upside because of course it did. I mean, why not? Right? I think that's sort of obvious. So what else is it going to do? Halted right here, actually at the top of the high of the day break. Is exactly when it halts, and this is always a tricky price for it to halt at, especially when there's no price action above here. So like you're basically trading blind. There's no obvious levels up here. Maybe like $12.50, like $15, things along those lines are what you're looking for on the reopen. You can always say to yourself, okay, like maybe if it holds $11, there could be a long off of this, but that's just. I mean, like sometimes it has to shake out to go. I just feel like that's the way this one has gone here today. Frustrating to be sure, but just be careful. This is probably not the last time that NTRB is going to halt today. I don't think I'm going too far on a limb to be able to say that. On Occugen, it did just bounce off VWAP, so I haven't covered anything yet. I was looking for after that 850 break for a bit of a deeper flush. It still has a chance to do that, and I'm looking for like 835 or so to get that first out. And then PROG is sort of more of the same thing as that one comes right back in lower high. I would have liked to get 230s. Can't get them. It just went to 228 and pulled around.
Halt.
I was just telling these guys, it's like, of course it halts at the high of the day. It'll be open in a few minutes. Looks like 4 minutes or 3.5 minutes it should be open.
Damn it.
Plenty of time for you to go to happening now and get right back for that open.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's have a quick look here at North American markets. Pretty flat overall. The S&P trying as we speak to hold on to positive territory. There you can see the Dow is in positive territory. Same story for the NASDAQ. The Russell, worth noting, a couple days in a row here, definitely the strongest. Moving into positive territory, up 0.3%. A few things we were talking about in the pre-market here. The airlines in general, but specifically AAL, came out with a Q3 update in the pre-market there. Was positive initially, but struggling a little bit here, still kind of stuck within yesterday's range for American Airlines, and the other one, Moderna, starting to slide off here after testing that 315 area, significant level on the daily chart. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah, that NTRB, yeah, good couple levels there. Moderna, we should have looked at that. Obviously, today up 1.3%. Wasn't expecting that. There's that NTRB, man. I mean, congratulations if anyone believed in that name. You know, we didn't really. And I tried, man. I tried. But then when it broke down below some of these levels we got out, I should have put this level down here at this consolidation. But I don't know if it cracked down tonight. I don't know if that's real. But again, we were able to make a little bit of money on the last part of this, but not much. Look at Softy, man. Let's take some out now as we're going right back up to the upside on Softy. Bang! Thank God for that one. Yes, sir. We'll spin it. Money, money, money. Let's go. As right now, Affirm, everything we're working right back to the upside right now. Affirm 58 cents in the money, right back up to that 135. I think it's worth probably taking some out right now as things are starting to spin around for us now. So it's a good, man. Microsoft, good out there. That's 25-cent winner. Average, right back to the top. So that was a good one. We talked about buying quality. So let's just keep on going. Yeah, thank you for the call on NTRB, but I mean, neither one of us have it, and I think we're both negative on the name. So
not happy with it.
Yeah, exactly. We're not super happy with NTRB, but hey, we are glad that everyone else at least made a little bit of money on it. So NTRB for the win, guys, and Microsoft for the win as well. Let's go.
Yeah, you can. It's the thing. You can want to buy the dip. You can sort of have the idea, but you still have to be able to execute the trades. And I always talk about opportunity costs. I hope somebody is short Moderna because I'm not. I said wait for 314 to 317 area. It goes right into that range. It only gave you like, I don't know, 9:30 to 9:40, so like 12 minutes testing the top end of that range before now flushing down $5. I don't have it, obviously. It is what it is at this particular point. I'm still waiting for that reopen. It is in about 1 minute, and we'll get to NTRB when it does do that. But CCXI is the other name. So we reload into the short because I want to play off this level as many times as I can. I do get a lower price here, of course, short at the 75 range. I just shorted it again in the 60s, and then looking to see if it can't come right back down into VWAP and then cover some shares here. It is a bit of a bullish look to the stock, right? So you see it, and I said there's more of a gap to fill. If it were to take out that 42 high, you got to feel like this is the time it's going to 45. So I am willing to take that breakout and reverse this trade. But the 41.90 current high is not the top I care about. It is yesterday's high at 42.16. So that's where I want to be out of the trade. That's where I want to do the reversal, not at 42 even. I want yesterday's high on CCXI. That's what we're shorting in front of.
I feel like this is like, I'm like in a different world here. I mean, this market is just, especially on a firm, like this market is just wild for this stock right now. Like we just had big wins and then taken away from us, like 134.50 there. I mean, I got to get out next time that happens. Like too many times just looking at this stock and like, it's going to go, and then it stops. So we got to take some out here on AFRM, man. If this one can come in one more time, we'll take some out. I have an offer finally on this. I just can't believe this is, like I said, this is like bizarro world for me here. On a firm, like just it's like in the money, yes, like so excited, and then out of the money, oh my God. And NTBR on the upside, more crypto. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for all of the super chats, man. Sold right before the halt. Huge win. Congratulations, John. I mean, what a great trading you guys are doing. NTRB as well, more crypto. What's up? Shout out to more crypto as well. We'll do this for you. Bitcoin's going through the moon right now. Nah, it's still 57,000. So, right now, not much happening in crypto land, but still good trading happening all over the place. 134. What am I long? 133.80. I can't take that profit out. There goes Microsoft again. So we're trying to spit this cash out, man. One of my favorite names, Microsoft. We're in the money now, 50 cents. We're still watching out for that. SoFi bouncing around like, 1865 the high. We're still holding on to that one. Palantir, we should have reloaded that. We should have loaded it up, reloaded it down here. But like I said, we were waiting for a little bit more, but it's come all the way back. So, hey, what was a disastrous day is actually turning out to be quite nice, man. So there goes Microsoft now breaking through 294. What a good trade this has been, man. We're long 70 cents in the money. Let's take another piece out. And then if it flies, actually, no, let's let this thing fly now. If we can get out 294.50 or so, we'll take that. But right now, Microsoft looks like it wants to go.
Yeah, just NTRB just tested that and broke that that halt price at 11.17. I did take a long in front of it, wanted to risk about 25 pennies on it. It does break down now. When GWH broke this level, broke its halt price and got back below it, it hasn't really turned back. And I think the same thing could happen here in NTRB. If it breaks that 11 even, we'll probably turn to thinking about some shorts. Although I do have to double check on those locates to make sure that we actually have them. And then I'll be punching the level and getting absolutely nothing if we don't. It still could take out the top, but I want to see it below 11. When it broke the halt price, it stalled out at 11, so it's got to be that 11 level that matters here. That CCXI, we did reload into that one, but here we go. Can I get the short?
Oh, is it halting again?
I just don't know if we have the locates on it. I'm sitting here punching it.
We're trying to get, we'll let Neil hopefully get short on that. Hopefully it'll happen. And we're waiting to get out of firm right now. I'm actually at 20 there. There we go. We just got picked up at 20 there. So good. Did we get picked up at 20? What was that price? Yep, 24-ish. So good pickup there on a firm. So we did, take out a little bit there on AFRM. So hopefully, again, like I'm still hoping for higher on this name, right? But we'll just take it out right there. I think it was 20. Yeah, 20. So, all right. I thought it was a 24 print, but it's 24. 20. So 134.20 out right there on a firm. Just catching some profit on this name. Hoping that we can get back to the upside. But now I don't have the risk on as much as I used to. So this is going to be hopefully a good hold for me. And we'll see if we can get back to VWAP here, 135.50. That's a good spot. If I can get up there, then we'll probably take some out. That'll be a $2 winner for a firm. So, hey, man, we'll celebrate that. Look at Softy as well, man. Dab this up. Anytime I get into Microsoft, like, this is not allowed in the NFL anymore, I don't think. But we're going to wait to see here. Yeah, no, just doing this to your head, like that. I don't think it's allowed. But I got to trade more shares on Microsoft, and I got to be more confident on it. So right now, Microsoft to the upside, good trade. Now it can drop all the way back down, and we're fine with it. It's been a profitable name for us. So we'll see if Microsoft continues to work. But a good average in there, and good thing we got out of some of that Affirm is now it's right back down another 40 cents. So I don't know, man. I'm super excited about today. The movements are here in a lot of these names. I mean, look at the NASDAQ alone. It's like up, back down, back up, coming back down in. So, I mean, it's kind of a nasty day for day traders today. And I'm super frustrated, but at least we're having some fun, right, Brendan?
Definitely. The clean energy theme continuing here. Lithium America, the latest to pop up on the scanner in front of me here. Day highs for LAC on a decent volume spike as well.
Yeah, and so here's what happened.
AMC boomed?
We don't have locates on that NTRB. I've checked like 4 or 5 times. It doesn't take us very long to check, but I did check like 2 times just to make sure. I keep getting a quote for the price, but it looks like we don't have any. CCXI, we do have them. These were actually free. It's broken down again, and I take a more shallow trade in both directions here, which is, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I end up getting 60s to the short side, and then thinking it might put in a higher low. Now, I like the breakout here, so if it's taken 42, maybe that's the reason why I'm going to go ahead and do it. But now that we're breaking lower, I just want to hold on to this, like, for dear life. So CCXI, holding on to it for dear life. I still have some of that SoFi, but it's it's Ocugen, which I waited till it got to this level to add to the short position. Now it's going to test the high of the day. So I don't want to turn this one into like an NTRB where you can have it the right direction, or what's the other one, GWH, where you're not maximizing the trade. But as it gets to this high, I'm trying to be patient with it. Let it get to 9. Don't add anything until it gets to 9. Wait till it gets to 9. I like shorting on the peaks. I'm not even bidding anything till 8:30. I'd probably, if I get more shares, I'd probably bid some in front of VWAP here at the 40-50 range. But Ocugen, this is what I'm basically going off of. Every single time it's gone up here from this consolidation around $6 to $7, it is reversed hard at 9 to about 9:30. So if that happens again, then fine, I'm going to be up on the stock. If it doesn't happen, then this is the day that Ocugen goes, and I will be a loser on this name. I still have that Tesla, but I'm looking for the chance to buy this dip here. And you're watching the market. If you're watching the market, you're seeing it come back in to some of these levels. And I'll go to the NASDAQ just so you can see. You're starting to come back in and test some of these lows. Remember I said we can't go unless the market wants to be with us here on Tesla? Yep. So what I'm trying to do here, and wow, that's an ugly wick, so we'll go to the 1-minute chart. What I'm trying to do here is look to see if it doesn't test back down towards this 801 to 803 area. If we get a turn there, excuse me, instead of VWAP, then that's where I want to be a bit of a buyer in Tesla. But let's be patient with it. Tesla didn't make that bounce and retest the high until the market sort of found a temporary bottom. And I don't think the same thing's I don't think the exact same thing's gonna happen again, but I don't wanna add until we've made some kind of consolidation on the NASDAQ or some kind of a turn on the market, or we're testing 800 even. So if I expect Tesla to be up today and be even a little bit counter trend, I want to be in this long for the long haul, right? So I guess that's, long for the long haul. But I have to be very, very patient with every single ad, so I'm not overexposing myself, and then I can't hold on to the trade that I want to hold on to. I already made that mistake once by trimming someone I probably shouldn't have. I'm not going to make that mistake again, so be patient with the ad. CCXI. I also do want to add to this one if I can get a chance. Now, obviously, it's flushing here down to 40 even, but I'm not waiting for this to get back to 41.70. It's clearly come and gone from that price. At this particular point, all the way up here, I have to start looking to where this one consolidated in the afternoon yesterday, and it had a bit of a high, a lower high, right at the close here of about 41, 40 and a half to 41. I think if it holds this range, I might be adding off of that level and then seeing if it can flush all the way back into this 38 to 39 area. Yesterday, when it first tested that top at 42, it did fall all the way to 38. I mean, a higher low from there testing again would be that 39, but that'd be a great return. I'll take that all day.
Yep, exactly. And what just happened right there will go awesome.
awesome.
There we go. Because yes, sir. A firm, pretty awesome move back to the upside, man. We're super happy with this one. Just took some out right where we said we would have had a VWAP. A little bit too much ahead of VWAP, honestly. We took it out at 135 even. The VWAP is 135.50. We could have also had that, but now we'll just hold. And now we're just cooking with house money right now. So unlike the Seattle Seahawks, they won't be letting Russ cook a little bit. He can't even cook dinner right now with his sprained finger, but I'm sure Sierra will help him with that one. What's up, Brendan?
Energy stocks having yet another positive day. Here's Halliburton just popping up as well in the scanner, day highs there. On volume, guys, for HAL, the whole group in positive territory.
Halliburton, yeah, we talked about OIH a little bit. I like OIH to get into that space there. Halliburton, Schlumberger, big holders in OIH. So that's an ETF. We can also look at XOM, which I should have put some shorts on yesterday. We talked about that earlier, that I was looking to get another put on this company. But XOM right now with oil up 0.46. Right now, XOM, look at that yesterday. Wow, 60. Last time we put on a put on this name was $64. So that's sort of what I was waiting for. If you check out the daily up here, so that's, we put it on right in here. Never really went against us, and it came all the way down, and we were able to cash out. So a little bit more upside for XOM, and we'll do that. But now we have a $2 winner, so we're dropping the grenades down for a firm right now, as that's $2 in the money on this trade. So a couple decent spots for me so far today with a firm, and wow, only to have held all of it, eh? But that's sort of the day trader's dilemma there, where to hold, where to get out. But there goes a firm to the upside without the market, guys, without the market. So, hey, what's going to happen when the market starts to go? I think we got a firm pretty good here, guys.
Yeah, this BNGO, I see it's making a move again there, guys, but I don't really see a heck of a lot that I like about it. I just reloaded in front of the high of the day on OCGN. That's going to be it on that stock. If it breaks a high, we're going to be out of it. ATR's pulled all the way back. All the way back into 825 here. So it looks like that's giving up the ghost. But just keep in mind, look at this stock the last couple of days. If it gets down back into this 8 even range and can't hold that level, I would absolutely watch out below. That could get really ugly really quick. And then NTRB. I hate to say it, but if we had locates, it'd be fantastic. We would have had a nice little return on this one already. It is flushing hard and likely to halt to the downside. Now, I will look back at 930 to 950, where we originally wanted to buy the dip. And if it gets down there, I think we can take another shot at it. But this one has come and gone. It tested that high again. It broke back below the halt price. Just no locates to be able to put the trade on. CCXI, like I said, I'm going to hold on to it and try to add to this position. But it's going to have to be on a turn at VWAP here at about 41. So I'll get on the offer there. We got locates, no problem. Holding on to Prague. I think I'll be net short Prague the entire day. I think Ocugen's the one that concerns me now. Everything else sort of holding steady. Just reloaded on SoFi at VWAP.
Okay, so yeah, we just reloaded also right now, so we'll see if we can shred some, hopefully, profits to the upside, as we just took Palantir as it came all the way back in for us right there. So we're going to watch out for Palantir. Okay, I see you, Affirm. How come I'm not out? Where's my offer here? We're $4, $3 in the money on Affirm. 136.40 I'm at. Oh, God, where did we just go to right there? All right, so anyways, moving to the upside. Let's see if Affirm can go, man. Another $3 winner there. Will Gronk spike it? I don't know if Gronk's coming back or not, but there we go. Gronk spike to the downside. For a firm, up $3 now on this trade. So it just stopped. Literally, I'm at 40. It stopped at 38 there, 39. Wow, that's unbelievable again. Wow, this keeps happening, but okay. So now we'll see if there it is. Bang, right there. So we'll say, oh my God, what's up with another one, guys? Another one, a firm, protect it. Watch the sticky note, guys. Hopefully all day today. We talked about this on our sticky note. I'm going to show it to you here. If you're not, please follow the sticky note at TraderTV Sean. We talked about a firm here, 137 long, should pull back, broke up momentum. We'll take the pullbacks on that one. So there goes a firm, man. We talked about it. We put our money where our mouth is, and then we hit the bangs for you guys here today. So far, so good. SoFi, not so good. But we'll do a nice little bang for you guys here, as this is what everyone wants with the winners. So that's a good one there for a firm, starting to make some money there on that name. And look at Microsoft, man. Woohoo! It's hot dog time, as Microsoft making moves back upside there. Should have reloaded down here, but we did not. But hey, we'll take $1 in the money on Softy. Wow, what a good day this is turning out to be.
Yeah, we'll take it all day long. We're going to get that turn coming on Ocugen, but remember we said we reloaded on that SoFi here. Their initial pullback, if you looked at when it broke that 1830 area, the initial pullback right to 25, it did it again. I'm going to get some shares out here at 45, because we're always going to take profit. If it's going to be a reversal trend, I'm taking basically the same amount here, like 15 to 20 cents on every single scalp trade. Ocugen, like we mentioned, this was going to be the one that was going to get ugly for me if we broke that 915. But if you look at what happens in Occugen every single time off these levels here, you got to be thinking about if it does hold that 9 even area, well, it's more like 9.15 or so, that it is going to be absolutely flushing to the downside. I still think if you look at what it's doing here, I have bids all the way down at 8.30. I'm going to get them all the way out where I was getting in. The last entry is usually going to be the biggest one, but it still takes the high. It's going to be a negative stock for me. Even though it's pulled back, it has to hold below about 880 before I'm going to be celebrating too hard. And then here comes put up or shut up time for Tesla. The market is right back to about down 0.2%.
Yep.
And we're going to test 800 again on Tesla here. So what I'm looking to see if we can hold the bid, then I'm going to add to this position. If we can't hold 800, then we have to duck out of Tesla, unfortunately. You know, you can't fight the market too far. The shorts are working. I have 3 shorts that are in the money here, but hey, it's the SoFi and the Tesla long that are going to be determining, you know, how these longs work out overall. And I might have to run away from the long altogether and then hunt for some really, really big dip buys because 790 was the original price that we liked here on Tesla.
So we got out, we ran away from Palantir there on this break. So we tried it, we got out of a little bit there, and I said to you guys, you know, there's no way I want to be sitting in some of these names as the market's coming back to the downside right now. So I mean, that's why we cashed out on our Affirm, man. We got, like, now I'm holding, it's 10% of what we had down here. So that's what we have left. Again, took out 25, 50, 75, and then we took out the last 20% there, holding last 10% to go here on Affirm. So I'm still thinking it can go upside. Just giving everybody an update there that when we got that print, that's exactly where we wanted it, man. We talked about that. I don't think we're going to get back to the high side, but we did get out there. It does go to 137, but I do like Affirm, just like I like Upstart, man. I mean, there's some good developments happening, obviously, with the firm and some of these companies. They can still go, especially like a DoorDash. We actually can look at that. We talked about that earlier as well. Microsoft still 23 cents in the money. The QR code is coming, so thank you to whoever made that. I don't know if that was you, Rob, or whatever, so thank you so much for doing that, Rob. It's going to be easier for you guys to scan our watch list, so get ready for QR code. Brendan will introduce that very, very soon. I'm just excited about it. I think it was a good idea. What? I don't even know if I have the coming up too. There it is, guys. So if you hold said phone up to the QR code right now, try it. Let me know how it works there in the chat. To hold your phone up to the QR code right now. Not that we don't think Rob got this right. I mean, I'm sure he did. But you can hold it up to it.
It'll work.
I actually kind of want to hold my phone up to the QR code right now just to see if it works. But let me see. You see. Yep, there it is. Perfect. Wow. Amazing. Good job there. So what it does is take you right away, guys, to our, I don't know if it's going to load up here. You can't really see it there because I have a screen on my phone, but takes you right there to the Trader TV Live website. So good job there. Rob, here it comes right now, starting to load up. There it is. So thank you so much for that, where you can log in as with your Facebook or whatever account you want. Thank you so much for that, Rob. That makes it easier to get our watch list. So, hey, that's awesome. Good job, and that looks pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's all about getting you guys the information as fast and accurately as possible, and that's a great way to be able to do it. So fantastic idea there. And I'm going to cover some of the CCXI. You've got to take profit in this market because I think, Sean, you were saying it's whippy, man. Yeah, it's whippy. But we're able to catch some of this in front of VWAP again. I don't know if you're going to get 42s. If we get 42s again, we're shorting in front of it for sure. But now we're playing in front of 41. Going to start taking some at 50 cents, just like we're doing up at that top. And I'm maintaining a core position short on this name. I got the reload on Tesla when it just bounced there, so we're into more shares. Wait for it to flush. So you see this wick down here, if I can zoom in. Sort of wait for it to flush. Test that bottom. It couldn't get any further than 801.5. And then when it snaps back up, that's when I get into the long position. So I wanted it testing, trying to put in a higher low. It's done that. Now my stop's going to sit. If it breaks 800, we'll just have to get out of it. And then we'll go back to the drawing board for some of the long positions. As I said, holding on to the shorts. Sending you guys to Brendan for the small cap recap. One of those names that I kind of wish I had traded too.
Just laughing because CNBC has this Jamie Dimon quote that he thinks Bitcoin is worthless, just on repeat today, it would seem. They can't get enough of it. Let's talk about small caps. Terra, we talked about right at the beginning of the show. I mentioned 850, which was level over here on the daily chart. Obviously never comes into play, just gets flushed right off the open there from 8 down to about 750, looking like it might want to make a new day low here. For Terra as we speak. I also like this OCGN, looking like it might want to test the high once again. Very, very strong. Positive news, but it's a huge level for OCGN. So heads up on that one. Some volume coming back in. And PROG, this one's been a choppy, crazy trade so far. 230 at the top, 250 is the extreme. And then 195 down here. It did give you a quick scalp at the beginning, or at the open, I should say. But back and forth so far for PROG, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, I wish I had traded some of that Terra, definitely, for sure. We'll take a look at it. As you mentioned, that Ocugen goes up to that high. We reload that one another time. Speaking of reloads, SoFi here, with the market coming back in, there's no reload for me on VWAP. We do take some profit. I'm trying to hold, maintain a net long position, sort of like in Tesla, buy the dip, scalp some out, see if we can't stay to the long side. But at some point, you have to give these up. And if SoFi, if you look at this previous sort of top here, most of the volume has been holding up at 1750. I don't know that I want to give it to that level, guys, so we'll see what happens there. But Ocugen, which you just mentioned, that's the more pertinent one. It came up to the high again. You're going to see me short the top another time. I have bids all the way down, most of it in front of that 875. If 875 breaks, I'm sort of playing this by ear. There's a huge range where it went up so fast, and there's a cluster at 850 to 860 that I want to see travel down through those prices. CCXI is coming up for another reload here. I want to be selling in front of that 41 instead of that 42 now. So as it pops back towards VWAP, I'm going to look to get on the offer in front of 40.85 to 40.90, and then rinse and repeat this trade as many times as it wants to give me. But like I said, OCGN testing that 915, as you said, Brendan. That's a strong name. If it breaks here, there is a 936 level that you could play off of, but it's managed never to really follow through on day one. Let's see if it happens today for the first time.
So do we have Nick Leeson coming up in about 20 minutes? That should be exciting, Brendan. We have got a couple questions for him, so we'll ask him. We'll throw some softballs there and see what he has to say. CEO of Bull Bear Capital, I believe it is. So yeah, really happy to have him come on. We'll ask him a few questions. Yeah, CEO and motivational speaker. So Bull and Bear Capital, sorry. So should be really fun to have him on, just again, kind of, I don't know, not really geeking out. What do they call when not like you're starstruck, but again, I watched that movie and it was just.
You can say geeking out.
Kind of, yeah.
I say it all the time.
It was a big futures trader. If you haven't looked it up, just look him up, Nick Leeson, and then he's going to be on our show, and then so you'll be able to see some of the quality of interviews and whatnot that we're bringing to you guys. So hopefully you'll enjoy that as much as we will. So that's really pretty cool, man. Nick Leeson of Bull and Bear Capital. So Bull and Bear. I like the Bulls first. That's good. Okay, so we'll go with that one. All right. So again, a firm. It made its way all the way back. I still hope that we can take out that high. But again, like I said, we still have 5% of our initial position, of our total position, left on board for a firm. So that's $2.50 in the money. I mean, we'll take that, man. It's been a good day for us today on a firm, as feeling like Superman. And then also here, what up to Miss V, back in the building tomorrow. She's been sending some pretty cool pictures. So hopefully she'll be showing those tomorrow with Prad on Memes and Movers, or we'll show some on our show as well. She's supposed to be ours, and then we lent her to Prad.
It's the channel, right?
It's the channel. Yeah, we're all part of the same team. I've been on that Memes and Movers, as we all have. Great show. Hope you stay tuned for that at 11 o'clock. So yeah, we're really I don't have a man crush. Far from that on Mr. Nick Leeson. Okay, so Microsoft's still going. SoFi, I know Neil just talked about it. I'm going to hold out for this one for a while. I still have some bids down here. If they get picked up, great. That would be nice to do that for sure. Palantir, what else is going on? OCGN, you've already talked about that a little bit. Let's check out CEI. I know that's a name that a lot of us look at, every day. So CEI today makes that move up to 160, but it's not really doing too much. I still hold out, guys. And maybe I need to cancel this because I don't know about this 140 anymore. Like, I thought with momentum in the morning, you get a break of this 143. We go to the downside. I still have the order in there to go short if it does break that 143, but I don't know if the momentum's there right now. Only 52 million. Can't believe I'm saying only 52 million, but this name's done billions, of course, or 1.1 billion, I think was the most last week on some high volume days last week. It looks like it was this day, the 8th. So let's watch out for that. But a 143 break on CEI. I like it. Please check a super chat. Sure. I'm a noob trader. What's up, man? Don't be a noob when you're playing video games, especially against Trader Prad, because you'll get murked. That's a term that he told me about. Okay, so super chat. UPST. Are you there, Trader Prad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard him snicker. I don't know if you heard me say that in the background there, but if he did, yep, don't mess with that guy in any vids. But I don't know what your super chat was. It went about a little bit too fast there. But I like Upstart, man. I think on any dips, you buy this name. And I mean, if you've been doing that, then congratulations, you made a hell of a lot of money because Upstart just was 284, 285 not too long ago. Here it goes right to the, I mean, look at that break early. Got to watch out for some Upstart breaks there. But something in my hair apparently right now. So, okay.
Oh, in the back. Okay.
Okay, well, I'll get that all figured out. But thank you so much for noticing.
Donkey
that.
sticks.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Donkey Sticks.
So two things. One, stopped out an OCGN and then a wall emerged at 920. So I'm like, okay, I'll take a shot for 4 pennies and see if I can't go again. 936, 950, the next 2 levels up. And while this was happening, Prague also, which I still actually have 20% of my Prague trade that we shorted up here at that 930. We never really added to it. It's come down a couple of times here. I'm still bidding in front of $2. Now it's going to retest those highs. I'll rinse and repeat this, but it's showing some signs of strength. The volume not nearly as good as OCGN, by the way. So if you guys are bullish, I'll tell you the volume is much stronger and much bigger on OCGN. Tesla, on the other hand, this one is coming back into view up. I am going to sit on the offer here. I got the dip buy, and then it kind of looked like it was about to break to 800 again. I was considering whether I wanted to buy some more shares, but I want to set myself up that if we go into this sort of lunchtime-isk trade, it's 10:30 or so, that I can get some out 807, 808, maybe somewhere in this range, and then dip buy it one more time here on Tesla. And then the same thing with SoFi. Like I want to be taking some profit off every chance we get on SoFi. And as it gets toward this 1850 area, it's probably a good place here. Now, SoFi is basically right here, so I kind of want to sit on the offer if I can at that 42 range, and then see if we can take advantage of the fact that it gave us a bit of a VWAP bounce. And then if that comes back down to 1820, we can buy that dip one more time again. So we'll take the profit there, be happy with it. But I kind of feel like SoFi at this point, on this move, I want it testing higher. I want this to be testing at least 1850 to 1855. That'll give you more confidence to buy in closer to VWAP there and take advantage of this move. And it's the same thing with Tesla. Like I want this pressing up a little bit higher, and then we can take some more advantage of it. NTRB, oh wow. So if you guys are in this stock still, first, be very, very careful. Look at what's happening here, barcoding off at 1025. So at any moment, the volume could pick back up, but it is dwindling. I'm still waiting for this to absolutely break down and then retest 925. And if that happens, I think that's where I can be sitting on the bid. Missed it the first time through at the open. I do not want to miss that one again if it comes to that price. So I'll be very, very patiently waiting for it. That OCGN, we can talk about it. I can show it to you. Sometimes you got to be willing to make the top wick. I don't know if that 920 is going to hold up as a top wick. I was getting a bunch of shares out here in the 890 range. But if it does, then you can call me a sucker for sure, as this high of like 936 will not have come into play. I got out when it took that pre-market high from today thinking it has to test the next level up. 936 into 950 is going to be that level. And you can see usually it has not managed to break that. To be a bullish move for OCGN. I still think long-term makes absolutely no sense to me, even if their vaccine comes to market. How much can they make when at this point of the game they are late? And there's all kinds of competition. They have to get, like, forget about like Europe or Canada. They need to get U.S. approval from the FDA. And then here comes Tesla. So far, we're able to get some out. Tesla resisting that 807 level, even though the market is trying very hard to get back positive.
Firm, baby. Yeah, right up to 137 again. Hell yeah, the money bags on a firm is coming through. Yeah, that's been a great trade, obviously. For me today, so we're really excited about Affirm. It's my number one trade. I didn't know, I mean, hopefully that Mike guy can throw some shoes down, but I did want to say shout out to Jason Sudeikis. I watched the last episode of Ted Lasso, and he was actually wearing these exact Air Force Ones, but of course these ones are custom made, so I'm sure his are as well. But thank you too much. They're probably not, actually. Thank you.
If it's a character in the show, then maybe not. But
yeah. He probably has his own. So shout out to Jake and Sudeikis, my biggest fan. What's up, Brendan?
All right, guys, 10:30. If you missed it, we've mentioned it a few times, but here we go. One more time. Yeah, in 15 minutes, guys, the original rogue trader on this show, Nick Leeson, coming up. So stick around for that. Going to have a very wide, broad trading type of conversation with Nick. He does motivational speaking now and talks to traders all over the world and all of the time about, he's more of a futures trader than equities, so we'll kind of tie in the futures market as well. We'll get a couple thoughts on Arun's style, guys.
100%. But at the end of the day, remember, trading psychology is trading psychology. It doesn't matter what you are trading. You're going to run into the same types of pitfalls, so you can learn from any type of trader, any style whatsoever. Tesla's getting pretty close. If it can't get to 807, then I'm going to sell. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, give me a break. Always cancel offer first before you replace it, or you run the risk of getting out of everything. It'll be profitable, but I just got out of all of my Tesla. I'll have to buy the next dip. But GWH just started creeping back up to that 20 level. Looks like it got off the bid a little bit here. We have locates on this, so I do want to be fading off of this 20. You saw what happened when it got here last time, just a harsh reversal, and it got to 19 just now. Noticed it on the volume, although it's tapering off here, so I'm going to short this one off to that 19. We've tried it both directions here. We had the great long trade on the halt. Half of it we're able to take $1.50. The second half is essentially just under break even. Shorts early were fantastic, but then we got stopped out here when it broke that 1430 area and tried it again off of that 17 area as well. So I'm going to jump back into the short side of the trade on GWH. The longs have been better for me, but hey, I'll play this one in both directions, no problem.
Guys, it's Puke City here. We called this. This is why we're out of literally half of my Facebook position. I was obviously a Facebook bull, and we bought some that basically the day before the whistleblower at 325. We got that out at 329. I mean, not a big trade by any stretch of the imaginations, but we take that $4 and we just get out of harm's way. As right now, Facebook is starting to fall back down a little bit, and we know why. So, I mean, this story hopefully doesn't continue for them as investors, but, who knows where we're going to go. We touched 317.50 here on Facebook. 20 minutes going to be useless because we are at lows right now. So you could see here, I just think on a daily chart for Facebook, we're getting into some of that area right now, 310-ish or so coming into play. So we talked about this. I think it's a buy down here, 290, 300. That's where we'll look to pick up some Facebook and get back in to this name. So, until that happens, man, we'll just let this one drop, kind of like what we did with our friend Alibaba, which is not too much of a friend of mine, but you're up to 165 again on that name. So, hey, man, that's not too bad for that. So we'll see where Alibaba wants to go now, but nice little bounce off the bottom here, 135.36. I mean, people say, oh my God, Alibaba's bounced back, but it hasn't, man. I mean, you're still coming down from a big level there. I think you need to break this level 180 before it really starts to go. So that's a level of concern for me, 180 here on Mr. Baba. Look at a firm, $4 in the money.
When I bought my shares of Alibaba, it was 180 in a matter of days, and then it just absolutely tanked off of that. So yeah, I'm right with you. It has to break that level. The reload on CCXI is going to be about $2, approaching $2 in the money here. The original short is off of 42, but remember, like we said, once it broke down below 41, you're shorting that VWAP instead of waiting for that 42 to come again, which, quite frankly, I think that's the last you've seen of 42 on CCXI, unfortunately. I wish I could say better things about it. There was always a chance that the 42 break could take you to 45, but this seems like it's come and gone here. Now, I was sitting on the bid, but at this particular point, if this takes out 39, give me a break. Are we not testing 37, 38 at a minimum? 39 goes. We're holding on for dear life. We got a 41 short here and think we might even be able to get a 10% return on this. It seems like it's gonzo on CCXI. And that's the thing. We'll take the hit on something like not Clover. It wasn't Clover. It was OCGN there. But when you've got one of these to the short side and it's working, you've got to be able to hold on to it and then extend that win. So if it breaks 39, we think we're going down to 37, 37 and a half or so. I can comfortably get on the bid there. I don't think his stock is going to halt, but I guess stranger things have happened. I would probably look to hold through a halt in this particular case. GWH, we just got that short as that pop back into the upside. We're going both directions on this one, and it looks like, come on, chart. Oh, look at that, it worked. It looks like it might have made the turn here shy of that $20 range. I got 1907 to the short side. I would add to this one if it retested higher. And my out is going to be some in front of 18, some in front of VWAP at 1750. This stock might not be done halting. If this takes out the high, I would anticipate it does halt again. So you got to be careful. I don't want to be holding this one. If I'm short, I would never hold through a halt to the upside. No chance.
All right, we're just sort of man-crushing on a firm right now. If that's anything that we're man-crushing on right now, it's a firm, because this is a $4 winner right now. So we'll say to Brendan.
Dada.
Remember that one stock, Dada. We'll have to check out Dada there. As I just say, I have no idea why I hit that, but my number one stock by far today is going to be a firm, as it just keeps on going to the upside, man. We talked about defending those ranges, and that's what you have to do. You can't take a dollar hit on a firm. You can't, because then you're not going to have the $4 winners, right? $4.50 winners, and still moving to the upside. So you got to try to find levels that you believe in. And I think Jacqueline actually, Ford is moving. Okay, I'll look at Ford, man. You guys know I'm loving Ford, by the way. So we will look at that. I'm getting excited because I have a hell of a lot of shares in Ford. I'm hoping it's going to the upside. But right now, I saw Jacqueline. I don't know if she's still in the chat, but she said sometimes, and I don't know if it was in respect to this trade. I don't think it was, but it's sometimes you make a trade and and you invest in a company or you're trading the company, and you just have to believe in it, right? And it's just one of those things where, I was willing to lose money, obviously, on a firm today. We almost got near that spot, but we defended it down to this 130. We actually had a few more bullets to go, and right now up to 137. So yes, sir, good one. Live dream event right now for Lucid. So you guys are mentioning that in the chat, so check that out here. Yes, sir, Ford, 1450. Hell yeah, 1550, sorry. Hell yeah for Ford, man. We are loving life right now on Ford, man. My last buy was a big one at that 1330. I'm long 6, I'm long in the 11s, long again at 1330 for a long, long time, hopefully for Ford. So, I mean, it's getting up to those levels where last time when we got up here, I actually stamped a sell on this because it was way too overextended here, up to 1650. If it gets back up here, guys, I'm going to take some more out. So if we get to 16 and change, we'll empty out a little bit just because we're so big in it. But until then, Ford continues to work, man. And then we can check out Lucid after, but I don't think it's doing much.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I know the event's going on in Lucid, and still GWH flip work. Yeah, it worked. It actually just came off like 40, 50 cents. If there was more happening on Lucid, believe me, it's not like we would never ignore it if it was moving for you guys. But it did try to get to the upside on the event. It reversed right at yesterday's dump. And then look for support, maybe to check up higher than this 2270. Maybe you can hold like a 23 even. CCXI is going to continue to do that thing. We're bearish on it, obviously. I just pulled my bids in front of 39. I gave you the reasons why. When you got it, just hang on to it. I know this is not the 42 short, but we scalped the 42 short. We're now holding the 41 short. It looks to me like it wants to retest these 37 levels. I don't even want to have a bid at all because I'm sort of looking at the level 2 here. If I can quickly put it up for you guys. And this is what level 2 looks like. The spread is opening up ever since it flushed that 39, and you're just seeing all kinds of weakness. Like there isn't a lot on the bid. Every time I see size in the bid, it's actually like 20 to 50 cents, 20 to 30 cents lower than the current bid. So we'll let this one fall. Sometimes you just happen to hold on to it. And when panic comes in, like capitulation is the word I should be saying here. When capitulation comes in, you hold on for dear life. At this point, I could even trail it all the way back to like a 39.50 and see if it can't go all the way to 37. So that's the name of the game here. We're hanging on to this one, see how far it can go. GWH is a different story, right? Like this stock has just shown some signs of strength recently. So as much as, come on, gotta get it right. I don't know why it always goes to NF.
Because it's the first option, right? It's like alphabetically.
But it's actually just showed some signs of holding this 18 level, so I still want to cover some in front of this 18. It is a bit of a grind back to the upside. We did catch the turn, but hey, catching the turn is no good if you don't profit from it. So I might have to get a little bit more aggressive in terms of taking some shares out. And if it only wants to give me a 50-cent scalp on the first half of it, well, then that's what I got to go ahead and try to take because I am counter trend on the move right now. It's a bit of a mixed board that we're seeing. I know the market has turned red on us here, but mixed board there, Brendan. So sector watch, pretty important here.
Hey guys, yeah, about as mixed as it gets. We are basically dead flat, down 0.08% for the S&P. You can see nothing really standing out as far as both on the weak side and on the strong side. So weakness overall coming from tech shares. The financials obviously in front of earnings tomorrow. And then communication services, you can see Facebook, top of the board there, 1.8% to the downside for Facebook. Healthcare also under pressure here. Both the equipment makers and the pharmaceutical biotechs to the downside today. There is some strength from industrial stocks and the consumer discretionary group, specifically retailers. If I flip over here, you can see KMX, GPS, Etsy, and Lowe's, the top movers there. There's MGM as well. We talked about the upgrade. 6% to the upside for MGM, 2.7% for LVS, Caesars there, 3% as well. And then some of the durable goods makers below that also in positive territory. There's Ford, 2.6 for Ford, 1.4 for GM right beside it. So pretty good day for the automakers as well. This little real estate group also in positive territory. But as I said, basically flat. Now positive 0.02, guys. Back over to you.
I mean, we're just sitting here, and I've been going like, crazy with this Affirm trade. Like, wow. Just to have held that, man, we've had our best day all month for the show if we had held it, but we're still having a great day. It's always nice to be positive. Neil and I were sitting here and saying like, wow, I mean, this day feels like that board feels like a lie to me. It feels like everything is heavy today.
Yeah.
But obviously, ball don't lie, and neither do numbers there. Shout out to the Raptors last night. Good. Oh, I saw Freddie Gillespie. I don't know if you even know who that is. Raptor.
I saw the pick, but
that's right. I sent it to all of our friends.
I didn't recognize him. I know who it is, but I didn't recognize him.
No, yeah.
Which is not
I was driving home past Scotiabank Arena, I almost at Air Canada Center, and I noticed. Obviously, I don't know if he might have even had a ball in his hand there, but I was like, that's a Raptor because I knew they played, and it was Freddie Gillespie. So right there, shout out to the Raptors. I think young team. I'd be happy with a playoff appearance this year. I know that sounds crazy considering we won the championship 2 years ago, but they're I was going to say rebranding, but that's not it. Retooling. And we got rid of KL there. So Kyle Lowry, good luck in Miami as we go. We love Kyle Lowry here. I mean, probably the best Raptor ever. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, maybe skill-wise, probably Vince, maybe even T-Mac is in there. We did have Olajuwon for a couple games. So if you want to talk about Hall of Fame
You can't look at it
careers,
that way.
No, yeah, I don't look at Olajuwon as a Raptor. But I think of what Kyle Lowry did for us puts him right up there. So shout out to Kyle Lowry.
Two things. One, we'll get out of that prog. So initial short, fantastic. The reload, man, that song is strong. We'll take out the rest because I don't want to bungle that trade. If you're having a positive day, this is not the time that you want to give it up. I just noticed Micron. I saw someone like Micron Dumpsville. I just saw this down 3.5%. And so you just said this market feels heavy. And this is why, man. Like there's some names that are actually like really falling and showing all kinds of weakness, but Micron on a bit of a break here. I mean, I say a bit of a break, but on the daily chart, if I were to pull this back for you guys, you're now through this 69 support, which that's a big ass level on Micron, which just got taken out, and you're probably waiting to like 64 for it to catch a bit of a bid here. So yeah, there is some absolute weakness in this market, especially looking at this particular chip maker. I was just reading some good things about like ASML this morning, and ASML, and then I like AMAD, and there's some other people out there that like a couple of other names when it comes to the chip suppliers. Still seeing nothing happen on Lucid, by the way, so not much to see there. And CCXI continues to capitulate. I did get the fill, so I probably should hit a key or something. I'll hit this one because I do sort of see us holding up here. I mean, I know we're only at 56, but almost 57,000 on Bitcoin, but it continues to hold those highs with almost no pullback. So we'll hit that key. But GWH, it was a good idea to take the 50-cent win because it's coming right back to that 19 area. At this point, I don't even like the notion of reloading. Right? Like if it couldn't test VWAP here, I don't want to reload this shallow at 19. I'm reloading in front of 20 even and 20 even alone on GWH.
Red Sox take out Tampa. Did they last night?
Yeah.
Oh, so Tampa's gone? Wow. Okay.
I know, right?
Hello.
Right?
There, I missed that one watching the football game last night. What a great game that was, by the way. Congratulations to the Ravens. We have them in our survivor pool.
We got bailed out.
We had 10 teams in our survivor pool. We still have 9. So let me know in the chat or tweet at me at TraderTV Sean how your survivor pool is doing. That should be fun. We're doing pretty good. We still have 90% of our teams in. But hey, if you only took one team and you still have that in, then you have 100%. So congratulations to anybody that's still in their survivor pool. I feel like it's been a super easy year, but whenever that happens, people run out of teams. So we'll see what happens. That's why we're really happy that we still have 9 of our 10 teams left, and it's a big Wall Street super pool, right?
It's a monster.
I think there was 6,000 entries or something.
Like we've never done this good before, I don't think. Right? Like this deep in the year, we usually were.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Damn it, Neil. Now we're going to go 0 for 9. We will never post. We're never going to post our picks until, stop knocking on wood, okay? It'll be fine, Neil. Don't worry about it.
Too much,
yeah, I can tell. So let's just think it's okay. I mean, even if we win, look, it'll be like, I don't know, 10 grand each, something like that.
No. At this point, it's the principle.
Exactly.
At this point, I just want to win this pool because we've been in it for it's like 18 years or so we've been in this pool. And it's not like we've come even remotely close. Like if you're a trader, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about here. There are things that are worth getting like revenge trading on, or it's not revenge trading, but like psychological revenge.
Yeah.
This is like we're not putting a ton of money into this thing, so it's like
psychological revenge.
But it is
psychological warfare on everybody that's in a suicide pool.
But
right
do it in your pool and not in your trading. Now SoFi here, guys. Yeah. I'll get to this because I know we got the Rogue Trader himself coming, Nick Leeson, and it's going to be an unbelievable interview. So you want to buckle up for this. But SoFi is barcoding. We're in the money on this, but look at this iceberg order holding it up here at 1850. So if I hadn't taken profit out twice in front of this level, I'd be taking some out here just to trim, because I think it's about to pull back if it can't break this 50. It just tried once and couldn't get through. Anticipating that, even with the market holding flat here, you might get a bit of a dip, and then we'll pick some more shares up, 1820 to 1825, where we got it the last time. But there is this wall on SoFi. So yes, it's working. This dip buy has worked, but man, it's been like 25 minutes or so, 25 minutes that it's been holding out this range. It's because of one large iceberg. It's not on level 2, but you can tell it's a refresher.
What does that mean? Sean used to hit Neil? When was that? Or maybe by accident, I don't know. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Okay, you might have heard me under my breath. I was like a little bit upset at something, and it was just the fact that SoFi went back to this 138.50, and I was had an offer there, and then I canceled it. Thinking that it was going to go higher, and I wanted to try to be a hero and get long up here like 139.30, 139.50, something like, not get long, sorry, get out of my long and just finish the trade-off right there. But that's why under my breath I was kind of like there, because it did fail again at these levels. I've already seen it fail up here once. The market still, to me, is barcoding, but not in the right direction here. It's making, you could see, we don't need to have a technical wizard here to talk about what this is making here. And it just looks making lower highs, boom, 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 all the way down in. So the NASDAQ right now looking to give back. So that should have been taken out here, 138-ish. So I think now we'll put an offer. It's not too far away. It's 50 cents. Like, we're in the money 450. So, but again, giving back money is never something that is a good idea. But, if I kept getting out to take one of Neil's lines, like if I was looking gift horses in the mouth, I probably would have been out all the way up here. But we're holding out for a little bit. There it is. Yeah, we're holding out a little bit for this move. And again, it's because we only have that 10% of our position, a little bit more than 10%. So it's like 12% of the position left on Affirm. So yeah, I think we'll put an offer now at 138. And if it rips higher than that, then so be it. And we'll just take the $4.50 winner and put it in our pocket. But I like that 138 just in case the NASDAQ does begin to make a move to the downside here. We've got to protect some of these, this capital appreciation here for us on Affirm.
Yeah, and look, I finally put a trail in on CCXI. It's more of an area here. If it breaks out from this 38.50, 38.60, if it breaks out from here, I'm just going to cover it through those quarters. I tried to let this one travel down towards that 37 area. You have two things going on. You have the market trying to turn back into the green, and of course, on the higher time frame, you had some flush support at this. You can't look at this at 37 here. Hard turn 37, and then when it broke it, support for multi-days. It's only been a couple of days, but yeah, it's still multi-day support down there. And you have a good short on them. It's a $3 winner. I got to make sure that I bank the last of this trade. And if it trails out, it trails out. Prague, I'm going to wait for this one. At this particular time of day, I don't want to get back into it just yet. We had some good shorts on it early a couple of times. You can sort of see here. And then we reloaded at the high. We got stopped out. That's this triangle here when it broke the high of the day. When it took out the high of the day, I didn't want to reload back into it. So I'm going to wait for this one to calm itself down. I still think there's a chance, sort of looking at the daily chart, that if it got to about $2.90 to $3, that could be the turn. So I'll let it either work back down towards the 225 mark or allow this one to get up to that 290 range. And then GWH is the other one that we're sitting in here. And if it's GWH is the other one that's sitting in here, we'll have a quick look at that. And if it cannot break down, I do not want to add anything to this unless it's going to be sitting, come on, load up. Charts have been pretty good so far. I don't want to add anything to this unless I'm getting back in at that 1950 to 20 area. You can see what's happening at 18 bucks. It's holding support. Below that VWAP I want to cover, but these are higher lows all the way, guys.
Okay, so for those of you that are tuning in for Nick Leeson right now, MIA, but we are working on that. So no technical difficulties, anything like that. And if we don't have him on for this show, obviously something's happened. We already have a commitment from him. So we will look to have him on hopefully for the 3 o'clock show if we're able to. So stay tuned on that. Sorry about that, but this can happen, especially with, the profile that he has. So probably a busy dude. So we're still holding out hope for Nick Leeson to come through. So hopefully that happens. Like I keep saying hope, but we'll see if it comes through. So, all right, there goes Affirm right to the upside right now. So we talked about that 138. We'll talk about something else now. Just to talk about Microsoft again. like talk about barcoding, there's nothing really we can do here. I still think the NASDAQ is, I can see that we are making lower highs here all the way down. You could basically just draw a diagonal line. It almost looks like a reverse flag pattern into this. The pole downside, boom, and then you have the flag being made like this, that. We can draw lines all we want here, but that's not what our show is all about. You know, a lot of traders draw lines and don't trade. I don't know if you noticed that, but we will actually sit here and trade things that we believe. So anyways, it doesn't look very too sexy right now, Microsoft, but 293.70 here. If we can get out of softy right now, just because the market's not looking great, we're in the money 40 cents now. If we could take that, we'll take it. So 293.70 or so, put an offer there, see if we can get out, because the market is coming back in here, guys.
Yeah, and I can't believe we missed DATS of all the stocks. DATS, what's up again?
That's hard to believe.
I know, man. Like, for a name that's that catchy and we have puns on it, we've been trading it.
We need one of those hi-hats, Rob.
He could get a hi-hat.
That's a good graphic.
I like the hi-hat.
Thanks, Rob. I'm on fire today. The QR code.
I like the QR code.
I like the QR code too.
Idea.
Finally, yeah.
They're everywhere because of COVID now.
Maybe
right?
my job is no longer in question.
Well, I'd hope not.
I'd hope not too.
But missing out on DATS.
Bills to pay, damn it.
Missing out on DATS is a big miss. Look, we were trading this one. I think we've traded it every single day this week. Probably both of us have traded this one every single day, and you're going to see it continue. It's ridiculous move to the upside. So now it's already broken the high, so not much to see there.
Coinbase.
But at least you can go to the top and look at this 15 level. So it did spike to 19, but look at 15. That was the day before and the day after, resistance to that price. So, I mean, 10% from here would be fantastic, but 15 is the next level you got to watch. I'm now all out of that CCXI. I talked about putting a trail in so I could lock in the profits, and that's what we've done. So it's breaking back into the upside. Sometimes you hold the hammer for the bigger trade, and I wanted that $4 winner. We'll have to settle for, you know, it'll give me that 2.5 at the end. From the top, it'll be 3.5, but that 42 level, multi-day high, you get that one, and when it holds a lower high, you got to get back into it. You can't wait for that 42 like we said.
I'm doing it again. Like, what am I doing? Like, I just canceled my offer for a firm. It went right to 138, right where I was sitting, and I canceled it. So I don't know, man. I have too much faith in this stupid market. We did cancel that, and we also canceled our Microsoft offer, which went right up as well, right back into 293.50. But right now we are cracking lower. So there goes the NASDAQ, man. Big mistake they're not keeping that offer out. Sometimes trust what you're doing and don't trust the market a little bit. You got to trade your own book. We say that all of the time. What up, Brendo?
Just a quick update, guys. We're going to, I think, do our best to get in touch with Nick Leeson. We have his PR firm working on it currently, but no luck yet, unfortunately. So what we will do is, if we are successful within the next few minutes, we'll let you know, and then come back this afternoon. We'll try and organize things for later on today. But we apologize. We had a commitment, as we mentioned, from their side for this morning. So unexplained at this point, but we'll do our best, guys, to get things lined up for possibly this afternoon. If not, we'll update, obviously, on another time for Mr. Leeson.
Yep, that's fair.
Live.
I mean, this is live. I was going to say television. What is this? Live streaming. So, we do run into those situations. So thanks, Brendan, for the update, and thank you for everybody who is and here for our guest of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And two things. One, pop GWH. It went to that 20 level, said I'll wait for 20 to get a bit of a reload on it. It just got to that 20. And I'm going to hold SoFi here. I know SoFi broke that 1850, so you're going to see it break out. There was for like a half an hour, there was that iceberg holding it. And I know this is the high of the day, and we've been buying the dips and maybe missed the last dip buy. But let's just see if it can't make that second break here. After that barcode like that and breaking out, I can't see why it wouldn't take out this high. And here's the other thing, too, because this is the daily chart on SoFi. Like, what do you see? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you look at that 18 break, you look at yesterday's high, not a heck of a lot. Is obviously a significant level at about 1960, previous support. And then when it actually, if you look at this flush, look at the multi-candle day, multi-candle down, red candles down days. This is about 1950 as a high, and that's right below what would have been like since that initial open, that previous support level. So when I see that, I'm always going to be invested in it to think that that's going to be a key level. That's about 1950. That's $1 from here. So SoFi has lots of room before it runs into resistance. 19 even could be something, obviously, because it's a round number. And oh my goodness, this is why I talk about. Okay, I'm speaking before it actually happens. What I was about to say is this is why I'm waiting for this thing to test 20 and then have a stop at 20 even. it was about to halt GWH to the upside. I was like, this is why you got to have a stop, because it's about to halt, then it resists the halt. So GWH, false alarm, it didn't halt. It did break out though. That's why you got to be willing to take these things out. Look, I mean, I can sit here saying it's going to fall like an absolute rock at some point, but that doesn't mean I'm just going to sit in a short all day long here, guys, because the long, admittedly, the best trade I had on the stock was the long on the halt. Nothing has matched it. I don't think I want to go long on the halt if it halts above 20, though.
Here we go. So guess who made money on Prague right here? Mitchell did, not me. So we will spin that for you, Mitchell. Thank you for the super chat there. You get it right there. Thank you. Mitchell Williams, what's up? Prague, good trade there, I assume. Thank you again for that. How do you decide to average in, what's up, Afterstar, in or not, like in a firm today? Well, I mean, that was so... Again, a firm, and we talked about it on the sticky note, and I'll talk about it right now. Why not? We're $4 in the money, but I don't know where it's going from here, so we'll talk about that in a bit. But okay, so you know, when stocks drop like a rock like this, generally speaking, it's someone just like marketing out of their position, or just, you know, just not good feels for the stock. So what we try to do there is try to find a key level that we like, and then we just sort of say, you know what? Like, we're going to sort of lay our head on this. And so that's what we do here with a firm. And unfortunately, we started a little bit too early. So, you know, what we should have had is not this. We should have not taken this 135. We should have waited for this pre-market low, which is 134.30, and then we would have made a lot more money. But then we put on a bigger position down here at 133. The reason why, again, if you go back into a 20-minute chart, you'll definitely see here, look at this at the bottom. We've been holding this 133, right? So we held it. We know there's a key level there. We wicked down. This is a 20-minute chart. So we did wick down today even to 132, but we were holding 133 all yesterday, and then we did have even down here, like, you know, all the way down, and then a stop at 131. So, you know, we did have some levels to worry about. Obviously, we're not going to average down, you know, like into a name like a Microsoft, which we're in right now, that's losing. Like, you see this? Like, you have a 292. So that's why we're defending that. Other than that, you go down here, and then your next level is 291 and change all the way to the downside. Microsoft doesn't have the ability really to go up $3 or $4 straight, in my opinion, in this market. So that's why you have to scalp this. But we know a firm has these big moves, so that's why it was worth it for me. I thought it was, you know, a good hold. Turns out to be that. We have taken, you know, just like Palantir. Palantir, another one. You know, how many shares am I going to take into this level? So we need to get closer to 23. That's an averaging in level. So what we did on Palantir today, sort of different for me. We actually got out. Didn't want to hold on to Palantir. So in here, and then dumped it for 15-cent loser. We don't need this to happen to us. So we'll average in against key levels, and that's what we did with a firm. It just worked out like gangbusters there. That's all.
Capitulation top here on GWH, and usually the way that I have a pretty decent idea that it could be the truth is I was in the short right in front of this high when it was consolidating at 2150 and then got stopped out. It immediately hard rejected that 2150 break and was right back down. I'm literally getting basically the same price that I had, you know, seconds before, and that's usually a bit of a capitulation. Will I get some out in front of the bid at 20 even? I pretty much always do that, and then from there, I'm basically looking to see if this thing will halt to the downside. Either that or it's $18. So a capitulation top on GWH. And we did stop out here the last time we took it off 20. We then stopped out when we took 21.20, risking 30 cents. But right there, we're able to get $1 back on this one. So we'll throw it to the gates of hell. I think it could halt to the downside here, but keep in mind, if it resists a halt, that means holding VWAP and holding this 18 to 19 area, which is a big one. It is now only like a minute to go.
Yeah.
So obviously we're going to be going to Trader Pratt and Miss. I almost said Miss V.
Why not?
Miss V is back tomorrow from her trip.
She'll be in the building.
I'm sure she had a fantastic one. We're going to find all about it. She has sent some fantastic pictures, but she will be back.
Look at SoFi, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, SoFi finally breaking that iceberg, right? So this is the thing. Like, when it broke that seller, you had to think of holding through that. Like, instead of taking out some 1850s, that could be gonzo to 19, I feel.
And I mean, we just took some out here at 1870. So, I mean, that was the play for us on SoFi. So we hold this. I mean, we just didn't reload. And again, you asked about reloading. SoFi doesn't have any levels here. Like, we've already went down to 1790. I was literally waiting at 1782 and it went to 84. So we missed that by a couple pennies. But SoFi, that's the kind of stuff. That's how you average in, I think, anyways, on a name like that. But yeah, good show today, man. You know, too bad about Nick Leeson. Hopefully we'll have him on in the next couple days. If not tonight at 3 p.m., guys. So.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna definitely work on to do, guys. I mean, we got the commitment. We want to make sure we get him on because I know you guys are interested in listening to it.
Sure.
Crazy day today. Obviously, the market. Look, like I said, it feels a little bit more red than it actually was when you guys looked at the. We had Sector Watch on, and the ES is basically flat on the session. But there's plenty moving, and when there's plenty moving, you know it's all about the memes and the movers with Trader Pratt.
Let's go.
Memes, and I'm here to talk all about it. Sadly, no Miss V yet, but she will be back tomorrow. Welcome back to Memes Movers. I'm your host, Trader Prad, and let's dive right into the stock market. Hope everyone had a great Monday. You know, I went home, celebrated the little extra long, well, not long weekend because, you know, I had to come in, but celebrated my early ride home yesterday and enjoyed my day off. But sadly, my niece is sick, so little